SMTN.
How's it going, everybody, and welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network Link 398. I'm your host, Spencer Presley. Joining me for a very special, possibly artificially intelligence-modified episode of the podcast is special guest, fresh off of... I heard he just took a break. He's writing the foreword for Kazuma Kaneko Artwork 11 right now as we speak. The man, the myth himself, Larrue.
Hi, I'm Larrue.
Have you thought to yourself recently, with everything going on in a post Tsukuyomi world we're in, like, is there a chance that we have the least desired artwork 11 from Kaneko? Like, can you imagine? Like, it will be like we're just scraping all the bottom of the barrel. Like, we thought it was like, oh well, here's an art piece he did for like Nobunaga once 20 years ago. Whereas like nowadays it'll just be like it'll just be like the index will be all of his like art prompts. It'll be like these text lines led to these characters.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised because I'm actually, when I was like looking earlier, I was looking for anything Kazuma Kaneko, like the new stuff, and people are selling his stuff. Like I'm seeing, I guess he gave away some Tsukuyomi trading cards, and someone's selling them, and they're selling them for $9 for 3. I don't know if that's a good deal or if it's a steal, but
I can hear you adding them to your Makari card as we speak.
you know, that's between you and I. I would like that to be off record.
Can you imagine? Be like, what'd you spend your tax return on? It'll be like, what did you spend your tax return on? Thanks to all the money you got back from the government. I bought the 100,000 yen special edition for Tsukuyomi, and I have maybe 3 regrets.
I was actually very close to doing it. Luckily, it sold out the day after. I was like, oh, I can do it.
Yahweh
I was like, oh, it's already gone.
That was Yahweh looking out for you. He said, Larrue, you don't want this on you. You don't want this.
and I thank him every day for it.
But yeah, man, it's so funny. We're in May finally. I don't know where this year has gone, or at least if you're feeling it at all, but it's like, I cannot believe how fast 2026 has been blown by, and it's like been very funny of like, this is one of those weird years. I would say even more so, ironically, than last year, where it's like there's so much stuff coming out all the time, whether it be like big or small, that's like kind of like in my face. I'm constantly kind of forgetting the fact that there's no like big new Atlus thing to talk about. It's mostly just people like talking about like merch that's coming out or speculating about like P4R and stuff. That it's been like, I've got no complaints about this year at all. Like, I've been playing a bunch of stuff. Like, I'm like, to say I'm loving Pragmata is an absolute like understatement. It's like absolutely like it's my pick me up after, like, no joke. It'll be like if I like die enough times, or if I'm just like really not feeling a run in Tsukuyomi, I'll just be like, dude, I gotta see Diana. I gotta see that cute little I gotta see that cute little robot face and make me feel better.
I saw how big it was, but I couldn't get into it because I've been too busy playing games from my childhood. Literally, as we speak, I'm playing Maple Story.
Now, are you playing like OG Maple Story or like the new one that just came out?
So the new one that just came out is OG Maple Story. They decided to pull a WoW and do like a this is what it used to be like, a Maple Story classic. I'm playing current Maple Story, which is the OG Maple Story, if that makes sense.
The only way this could be better is if like you somehow also found a way to trick your girlfriend into playing. Like, you guys are like early 2000s LARPing. It'll be like, honey, instead of FaceTime, let's just talk on like Maple Story chat.
Which is what we used to do. So, actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe Maybe we
I
show
feel like if
LARP.
you did like, because we were just talking about this before the show, like spreading out a little bit into different fandoms and stuff for it. I would be so curious if you just did like a like chillax like stream of just like stream yourself playing Maple Story. I feel like there's at least double to triple digits people who would watch that.
No, unfortunately, the maple market is super. So I watch some maple YouTubers, and it's pretty packed, and you have to actually care. Oh, sorry, I don't know if you heard that loud car going by, but
Oh, no, not at all.
oh, okay, so I just sound crazy. That's fine. Um, but like, there's already a maple meta. There's already a whole ecosystem, and I like it would only be like the 4 or 5 people who are like, "Wow, he plays this game too," and then they would like drop off after the first day.
I'm so glad.
Like,
I'm so glad you know your audience so well. It'll be like you get like the passerbys of like, oh look, honey, Larrue's playing his boomer game again. Be like, all right, let's go back to watching the fifth Moist Critical video of the day.
yes, which is fine, fair enough. If I had to choose between watching me play Maple Story and watching Charlie say a bunch of weird, like his non sequiturs are so insane that I think that warrants a watch in and of itself. So,
It's I mean, listen,
but yeah,
if I could title every episode of this podcast just being like the Tsukuyomi situation is crazy with Larrue and get like 100,000 views, I would 100% do that.
yes, actually, so one of the things I've been doing was I've been looking to see who else is doing reviews or anything about it because I know they definitely tapped some people. I saw Gnarly make a video, but his video is gone mysteriously. I don't know.
No shot,
Um,
dude. The check didn't clear.
yeah, I guess so, because he was like the first one to make a video, and I was like, oh, I'll watch this
No, you know
later.
what's
And
funny?
then,
He
mhm,
was at least like early-ish because I know the first person who had one. I have a weird fan theory for Absolute Slander, who I'll mention. I know first with a review code was that David RPG guy. Dave,
really?
the like not the Canadian one, although he also might be in Canada. The like really buff
He,
dude who like does RPG coverage. You know who I'm talking about?
oh, I know. I saw his video too. You're right, Buff David guy. I
Yes,
know that guy.
him.
Yes.
Uh, and I'll talk about this probably when we get into it. His was weird. Of like, I think that's the only review I saw that I was like, I don't think that his video was like paid for, but it definitely felt more like a advertorial than like a paid editorial. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Huh.
But no, it was he did one, and then I'm totally gonna fuck up his name. He does a lot of like SMT videos as well. It's like
Strain?
Strain or yeah, like
Yeah.
Strain did one as well.
Hidden gem alert. That's actually a kind of an insane proclamation for Tsukuyomi, but okay.
Yeah, it was that was one of those wild ones of like um that was one of those wild ones of like it was like I stopped mid review for David's video and went to his preview because he kept referring that he like talked to like Kazuma Kaneko at this like LA event I asked you about, which by the way he's like the only dude I knew who went to this thing. I like asked around so much and I was like who went to this? What happened? What did you get to do? It was the weirdest thing of like I don't know if they just had like 3 people in like a Holiday Inn resort, like just like book a conference room for like an
Maybe.
hour. It was super weird.
Yeah, because my understanding is they're even trying to fly people out. So, and I'm like, I live here. I live here. Why didn't you invite me?
I
I
know.
could have just walked over.
I only found out about this because of Marsh when we were talking about like Resident Evil last month, and it was so funny. It was like he was like, "Oh man," he was like, "Do you think I should have gone?" I was like, "100% you should have gone." I'd be like, for the experience alone, it was like I'm sure it would have just been like, would you have cared about the game any more for going out there? Absolutely not. But you know what? Would have been an
Yeah.
experience.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize. So he did make a So the David guy did make a video about the preview. Huh.
But yeah, there's like I saw no footage about it, or there even the interviews people had. It was very much like uh, it was very much one of those. It felt more like a hey, we're gonna talk about the game and make it seem like it's an interview, but it's not really an interview. Also, like this may just be from
Yeah.
like years of like different levels of like media coverage. I do have to say, I thought it was very funny that like in one of either the review or the preview, they were talking about the event, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like the people at the preview event were really gassing me up. They said, wow, no one's ever made it this far before." And I'm like, I thought everybody knows that when PR is saying that to you, that they are literally paid to say that to everybody. It's like there's like nobody.
Mm.
Maybe once I've been to a preview event where like the person was laughing at like me for like doing really really bad, and that was just like in most cases it's like no, like you're there to hopefully make that game look as desirable as possible. Be like, I can't believe it. No one has gotten to the boss of this first floor before at Tsukuyomi. I've never seen anyone this skilled before. Like, wait, unless maybe everyone else who got invited was like for like CBS News. They just invited all the local like news reporters out there, and they were just like sending their interns out there to play. They're like, I don't know what's a Nintendo Switch. How do I play on this?
He, my thing is, I was like watching closely to see who would talk about it, and I could not find anyone like covering it. So I'm like, oh, did they just not invite anyone? Because
There was a thought I
because
had that too, that I was like, because I when I saw the pictures, there was at least like one or two pictures I saw they posted on their social media of like Kaneko like in LA, and I was like, okay, he definitely like came to LA for something, but like
yeah,
there was just no traction at all with it, which is unfortunate because I would have at least hoped that somebody went there, and maybe it's one of those things where he doesn't want to do a video interview, which I totally get that as well, but it's like it's such a bummer because like oh my, I mean, do you
no,
even know when?
he did a video interview.
Well, like in America though.
No, I'm saying yeah, he did. He got interviewed by Anime News Network.
Oh, real win.
It-
I missed this.
I'm assuming it was at the thing because someone sent me the TikTok and you can tell it's just a fraction of a larger interview. I mean, it's a nothing video. Like it's literally them being like, "Oh, like like you like fashion?" And he's basically like, "Yes."
Oh, okay. So
I
it was one of those things like where they are like clipping out what was clearly a larger interview that they will maybe upload one day to like gauge interest on socials, but hadn't been posted in full yet.
yeah, probably. I mean, but
Okay.
no one cares about that. That's such a weird. I mean, no offense, like Kaneko, no one cares.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna blame it. I'm gonna blame it on us looking at TikToks. That's the only reason. I'm blaming TikTok.
probably. Yeah, TikTok deserves it. All the hate it can
So,
get.
by the way, everyone, don't forget to follow me and Larrue on TikTok, please. I need those numbers. Need numbers up, please. Um,
Yeah, I need to actually post on TikTok. It's like pulling teeth. I'm not gonna lie. It feels very painful to upload on TikTok. Maybe it's just
Um,
me.
the last thing I was gonna no, I mean, you and I are always in those weird things of like I was telling this about someone recently, and I'll go back to the note I was gonna make was I met an old coworker over the weekend who I hadn't literally seen in like 2 years, and it was really nice catching up to him. But dude, this is the first time anyone's ever done this to me. Of like I haven't seen or talked to this dude, even messaged him online in like 2 years, and it's like first question for me is like, oh hey, how's the YouTube thing? And I'm like, oh my god,
Oh.
I wish that was the first thing someone thought of when they think of me. And because I was talking to him about it, and I'm like, you know what's funny is like I feel very confident that if I had the cojones to just jump shark off of my full time job, I think I could definitely do at least twice as good, if not more, than I'm doing already right now. But it's that thing of just like
Hmm.
I just have that mentality of like, no, I have to have a full time job. I have to do other side hustles. I got to do other things, and it just like I'm always like, what can I do to take care of the adult stuff? And then I always just put the personal things on the back burner because it's like it's just where my dumb brain always goes with it. And like it's one of those ones where it's like, well, there's not really a right or wrong answer, but it's just that tough one of just being like, man, doing this on top of having a full-time job, let alone having a life, a hobby, a relationship, it just adds on to it of like how many extra hoops you have to jump through in a week.
Hmm. I mean, for me, it's like the way I feel is that like I want to do YouTube more often or just content in general, but like it's tiring, and I'm pretty sure you can kind of relate to this part where it's like I feel like a lot of people who would be interested in the kind of content that I make have already engaged with it, and I feel like for me to do well on new platforms, I have to basically reintroduce myself and start from the ground up again, which is what I started doing, and I noticed that it was working, but I'm like, like this is so tiring. It's exhausting trying to remember to post like things that I was talking about 10 years ago, but now because the people who barely turned 18 10 years ago, or this year, didn't see my 10 years old video, you know. So it's I don't know.
I
I don't,
think
I don't know if it's a niche complaint.
no, I honestly I do think we're just gonna keep coming back to it of like, and I've always been telling people this for years, but I was also very bad at doing it myself. Of like, I think not jumping in, but like I think dipping your toe into different things on there is a good way of kind of seeing, okay, is my bubble always going to be this size? Am I always just going to be in kind of this demographic? Because like I've definitely never been shy of covering other things on my channel, but I would be lying if I said they definitely weren't in a similar field of I am talking about JRPGs, I'm talking about like games, interviews, stuff like that. Whereas like last year, just from pure excitement and just being a fan of like new tech and stuff, I started doing a bunch of like
Hmm.
videos of just talking about and showing off the Switch on my fucking carpet, and like all of those ended up being my best videos by like 50 to like many times thousands more views than I normally would get. And it was one of those things where it didn't make me want to be like, oh man, why the fuck am I doing this podcast? I should just do Nintendo Switch coverage all the time. But it did give me a nice kick in the ass to be like, oh, okay, there are other very different things out there people would be interested in or want to talk about or look for on YouTube and stuff that aren't just the same
Yeah,
kind of echo chamber. And not that there's anything wrong with kind of like having like your diehard of like your like 7 to 10,000 people who are subscribed, but it is nice when you see new names in the comment sections and things like that pop up, and it's like, oh, cool. Like I'm doing this to not just like, oh, I want to blow up just so I can either be more notable or make more money. Like I just like putting myself out there to also meet more people I normally wouldn't have met otherwise.
that's a good way to look at it. I will say though, you do make TikToks that I watch. I don't really watch that many Atlus people TikToks because most of them are memes. But when you like show off the next manga like thing you grabbed or whatever, I'm like, wow, literally no one talks about this, and at least I'm getting information that I would never have gotten anywhere, literally nowhere. There's some things you cover that no one else does, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is the Atlas content that I like.
Right.
Unfortunately, most of the TikTok stuff is just memes, and mostly it's just cosplay memes too.
I blame Wolf. I blame Wolf for all the memes. People just be like, it'd be funny instead of talking about Metaphor Volume 3, I should talk about what it's like playing Persona as a 40-year-old man. I'm like, that's a lot more relatable. I'm like, damn it, he's right.
It kind of is, and I'm not gonna pretend that the memes aren't funny. The memes are good when I understand them, which is probably the old man way of describing memes. But when I understand them, they're very funny. But sometimes I'm just like, this doesn't even make sense.
I will say the TikTok ones are funny, especially because I think and I think this is always very easy to tell with me, just in the way of like what I choose to like either make something of it very much like it. I would hope that no one has ever gotten the feeling looking at anything I post, whether it be on social media or like videos or even long or short form content. I feel like if I have ever given you the vibe of "Ooh, Spencer's really riding this bandwagon, doing this, talking about this today," it's like no, it's literally just like I woke up one day, or like I was at work one day, a friend of mine was talking about Persona Q, and I was like, I want to talk about Persona Q being a fucking ticking time bomb today, or like, I want to talk about fucking Weiss Schwartz cards. Because I will say, especially with the manga videos are so funny of like, I always no matter how many times I've talked about it, or after how many years, or even which manga I talk about, Atlas manga, I always get comments that are people just being like, "I had no idea this was a manga."
Yep.
I'm like, this has been going on for years. What do you mean? Or like, we're up to like multi dozens of releases, and it's like, am I keeping an entire industry alive? I can't be the only one buying these things.
I think you are because literally, so I know that some of those manga exist. Like I know that some of them exist or that they were done or not done, and then you'll come out and be like, oh, Persona Arena's manga is continuing with, and here's the newest one. I'm like, what? Like this is fun. I thought this was done 10 years ago.
That's why I always
So
like. That's why I
I
always
don't
like
know.
take it for granted when I find like some are really really low print runs that just have like crazy expensive price tags now. Like at least by like manga standards. Like when I like found out like that people had a really hard time finding some Devil Survivor manga or like Persona Q manga. I'm like, what do you mean? Like these have like back when I was buying them when they came out, like they were just sitting on shelves for months and months and months and months. Where it's like, yeah, like I kind of just like take it for granted. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good point. Persona Q's manga is literally over 10 years old.
You know. Sorry, we derailed
Yeah,
considerably
that was
from.
our hilarious conversation intro that I didn't even get to the actual question of. I think we kind of dipped into it. No, we did because we were talking about Maple Story. We can blame this all on Maple Story. That works out. Have you been playing anything else
Yeah.
besides Maple Story?
Um.
Now, has there been anything you want to play besides those?
uh, I started playing Baldur's Gate again because my coworkers have been trying to do a run because they're like, oh, we could play together, but it's been very irritating because my coworkers are the type that wants to like do everything together, and I don't like I'm not a co-op person. If we're playing like Terraria or something together, I'm gonna be doing my own thing while we're all in the same server. Like it's not gonna be, hey, let's go kill this boss together or whatever. But that's kind of how they're running to run the Baldur's Gate. So I've been ducking them and be like, oh, I'm busy. Like today we were supposed to play it. I was like, oh, sorry, like I have to be on a podcast with my friend. So thank you.
At least I gave you a good excuse today.
Yes, because next Monday it's Baldur's Gate. So
There was
so it's not that I want to play it. I have
I
to.
Baldur's Gate is one that like I know I will love it the second I jump into it. I've been a huge Baldur's
It's
Gate fan for
very
a long
good.
time, but it's one of those dumb ones of I waited forever for a physical, and like every time I ever think about wanting to buy it, I'm like, oh cool, I just need to buy it. But because they only do it online, like because like Lariat just
Hmm.
sells it directly, it's like I never think about it. Like where I know if I just went to a store and like saw Baldur's Gate there, I'd be like, oh, I gotta buy it. Even if I don't start playing it, I would have owned it already. But it's one of those ones where I'm just like, I gotta get to it, but also it's not like it's ending anytime soon. Like literally, I feel like every time they say they're done patching it, there's then a surprise like
They
another
add
patch.
some. Yeah.
Exactly, like they just keep
Yeah.
adding stuff to it. So I have no FOMO of it being like, oh man, like I'm missing out. I was like, no, the longer I wait, just the game just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah, that's how I felt with Cyberpunk actually. But
Um,
yeah, I'm not playing anything besides MapleStory.
uh,
And Etrian Odyssey. I've been playing a lot of Etrian Odyssey just because I really like it, and I guess it. I didn't realize that Persona Q and Strange Journey were literally just Etrian Odyssey with Persona and SMT skins. So now that I'm playing Etrian Odyssey, I'm like, oh, all my favorite parts about those games are just Etrian Odyssey. I could have been playing this instead of wishing for more. I could have just been playing this the whole time, and
no,
it's really good.
now I imagine this might just be the same answer as with the whole videos and stuff for it. Has that also been a similar reason of slowing down on doing live streams? Because I noticed you were doing a lot of like live streams, especially when you were jumping into Etrian.
Uh, the live stream thing is just because I I I feel like I'm boring. Like I don't know. Like I when I see other people put like live stream video games, I'm like, oh, they're really good at the game or they're really funny, and I'm like, for SMT, I felt like I had something where I could just like add trivia and just talk about like developing and stuff. But since I don't know anything about Etrian, while I was playing, I was like, man, I'm probably really boring. And I just really felt like, oh, this is not entertaining for anybody. So I just stopped doing it. And then when I try to get back into streaming, I'm like, I don't really play any video games. So if I streamed, it would be Maple Story. And I don't want to build a Maple Story audience of people who are like, oh, this guy really likes Maple Story, and for some reason keeps talking about Persona while playing.
I like to imagine that,
So
like, for people out there who've never watched one of your streams or, like, maybe have just seen your videos, like, a Larrue live stream is literally just no commentary except every 60 to 90 seconds say, "Did you know?"
That's how I felt. I was doing it. I mean, if unless I got a lot of like comments or whatever, I basically would just be like, I was like, I gotta say something. I gotta fill this empty space, this void. I don't know. So streaming wasn't for me. Maybe when they release Persona 4, I'll hop on streaming again. Maybe.
My favorite part
I
about
was good.
your released either weekend or week streams for Atlus games are always starting the stream, and this may just because the ones I always remember, I remember like P3R and like P5S explicitly of just like jumping into those streams extremely doubtful and being like, hey, you know what, guys? I don't want to kill myself. This is pretty good. Be like, I can't believe I'm enjoying. Can you guys believe I'm enjoying this game? This is the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I okay, so I was very doubtful about Strikers, but I also yeah, that's it's a trend. But it's because Strikers was such a weird game, and then also a remake is also just always going to be kind of a tough sell for me. So I was surprised that I liked both of them, to be honest. Well, I mean, I didn't finish Reload though, but I liked the bit that I played.
It's aging like a fine wine. You know what? I've heard the real thing is, you know what? You're not even gonna beat it anymore. You're just gonna get all of your opinions from the next album by the weekend. You're gonna wait for the weekend to finally finish Persona 5, and then he's gonna play Persona 3 next. And then he'll make a whole concept album about it, and it'll be all Velvet themed, and then that'll be how he'll be the voice of the generation for the next Persona people.
My thing is that I feel like he doesn't deserve the attention. I'm like, why are people getting so excited of this random guy playing it? Like
Hot take, by
now
the
now
way.
it's gonna
Hot. I don't know if this is a correct take or a wrong take. I want you to tell me this because I feel genuinely like nonplussed about it either way. I think you know when accounts like Faz and other people in his similar circle are getting the only post that they are getting any attention or traction on is just sharing pictures of the fucking weekend's Instagram stories. You know it's a dry news day.
No, that's true. It's really like, oh, Billy's playing the game. It's like, who's Billy? I don't know, but he's really into it. Look at him go. Like I saw a tweet with like 4,000 likes, and it was like, oh, he locked himself out of the Tate Takemi romance, and I'm like, this is what you guys want. I could have
It's
done that.
It's wild, dude, because I will say, ironically, the only time I've not even been mad, but I think low key annoyed, I think, and it was, and now in terms of like, would I have done anything differently? God, no. I think from a marketing sense, it makes total sense. I think when we had Atlus official like send him a thank you for playing drawing post, I'm like, that's lame. Like that's big time. That's like literally thanks for noticing me, senpai. We're so glad
Yeah,
you
that's
enjoyed
literally.
our game. It's like, dude, like no offense, if someone came up to me and like told me the truth and were like, "Hey, did you guys know Matthew McConaughey beat SMT5 Vengeance?" I'd be like, "Huh, that's cool." I wouldn't be like, "Holy shit, he's the voice of the generation." Matthew McConaughey,
My,
please play
well,
SMT6.
you gotta pick someone with a little more relevance to the youth.
That's true.
I'm trying to
It'll
think
be
of.
That's true. I mean, like, so if I wanted to pick like a musical one for it, I'll just go then on the other side with it of like, uh, I'll just pick like a like musical one with it. It'd be like, imagine if Sabrina Carpenter like just posted on her Instagram stories that she's playing Soul Hackers 2. People would fucking shit their pants.
Yes, and I don't really get it because I'm like, okay, who's a celebrity I like? I'm like, if Kendrick Lamar posted SMT4 and he was like, he's like, oh, I'm doing this now, I would be like, okay, like like make sure to reference it in your next song, I guess. But like, I genuinely don't understand. But maybe it's because we're just not part of the generation that cares about
No,
celebrity,
I
which
don't
is
think I
weird.
don't think it's people not understanding how big the weekend is. And by the way, I'm saying this is actually someone who is a fan of the weekend. I haven't like listened to all of his stuff, but I definitely like more of his music than I've enjoyed almost everything I've heard of his stuff, even though I know it's really
Yeah,
easy to meme on him. But like at the same time,
is
by the
it?
way, Oh, well, I mean, like, it's easy to meme on him just from, like, other things. Like, he does a lot of goofy stuff on top of, like, he's not known for being, like, the serious player, like, fuckboy kind of, like, he's not, like, a one-trick pony in terms of where he's at in the industry, I would say, which is nice. Like, I feel like the quickest thing you need to know is, look at his fucking song he did for American Dad. Like, a normal dude wouldn't have made that. I mean, like, the fact that
See,
The
I don't,
Weeknd,
I don't even know.
bro, you need to look this up. So I assume you know what American Dad is, though, right?
Yes,
The
it's
Weeknd
the
was a
Family Guy,
guest.
but
The
American Dad.
Weeknd was a guest star on one episode of American Dad, and he made a joke track, like a full-length joke track with a music video, that is legitimately one of his best songs ever. And it's all about how everyone expects him to be a fuckboy, and he's just a virgin, and it's the funniest thing ever.
Oh, see,
It's very good.
my thing about the weekend is I love it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but in terms of the
Boo.
weekend, the in terms of the musician, I only know whatever was played on the radio, and I've always just known him as, oh, that's like the modern Michael Jackson. Like he kind of sounds like Michael Jackson a little bit,
Oh, I
but
didn't. You know what? I didn't even think about that. That's actually kind of a good parallel. But I will say though, the funny thing is there are some other people who know him from like other things because he's done some movies and some TV shows.
he's like acting
Was
or something, right? Yeah.
Dude, one of his first acting roles was in fucking Uncut Gems, a movie we always make memes on in the show. But it's like so funny to just be like, can you imagine if like someone rolled up to you a week ago, like before the whole Gene Hackman like thing came up, where someone's like, hey, do you know the guy from Uncut Gems is playing Persona 5?
That would be the way to market it to me, because then I'd be like, "What? Uncut Gems guy?"
Adam Sandler just sitting there playing P5R, and it's like
Actually,
the best part about like him playing is like I will at least say he is doing the most normie updates possible. It's not like he's not like out there being like, "Oh my god, this game is the best game ever. It's transforming my life." At least he's not done that yet. He's literally just sharing on his personal feed what he's playing and what he's doing and stuff. Like the whole tie thing I didn't mind because that was the most honest thing of like in his playthrough, that's about like the most commentary he's really given was like being upset that he didn't get that social link. Whereas like he's mostly just been playing it like the way like he's played through Nier recently. He's played through a bunch of stuff recently. Like he did RE9, Nier, and a bunch of other things. And like because when he went to Japan, he did like a basically like a giant. I think it's probably where he was actually touring and stuff. That's why he was in Japan. But he was hitting up a bunch of like studios and stuff that I thought was really funny. And it's like I think people need to look at this the way that Hideo Kojima invites people over to his offices. Like it's cool if you enjoy Hollywood music and games. Like I don't know if you've seen this. There are legit people out there who like think this is like a psyop and that no shit like he will be the person doing music for Persona 6. I'm not even kidding you.
I, I I didn't want to go that far, but I was like, oh, maybe they might ask him to like do a cameo voice or
Oh
something,
yeah,
or
like would they do
they
yeah,
might have him do
would they
PR.
let him do like a song or like do something like that wouldn't be that crazy, but like there are literally like people out there who are like, "Oh my god, no, like he is the new Juice."
No, it's like a forced meme in my opinion, just because it's like absurd. I guess people just didn't expect him to be a RPG player. I guess, like that's what I gathered from what I was watching. Like people freak out about it, but I think it's also mostly what you said earlier. It's just a super slow news day every day.
Bro, I was gonna
Like
say we've been saying it's a slow news day for about 5 months now.
it's a slow news year, but
Well,
which
by
I
the way,
mean,
and
besides the Raidou SMT thing, that thing is crazy. That woke me up from my slumber. I was like asleep on Twitter for a while. Like you might notice, I'll go through phases of just not using Twitter anymore. So I'm like, there's nothing to talk about. Like what? Like am I supposed to be like, oh look, I found this obscure thing in my Etrian book? Hmm?
no, on slow news days, you got to be like, guys, you'll never believe this. After 150 hours, the weekend has finally gotten past the second dungeon, and we slow clap. That's what the whole news day for the day. We just do that.
Yeah.
I will say because I do want to go into the Raidou SMT festival. I have so many more levels of jealousy, hype, and expectation than I know is even fair from it. And for anyone out there who doesn't
Uh-huh.
know, Atlus is doing in August of this year. They're doing two fan meetups for right. It's called literally Raidou versus SMT5 Vengeance concert and fan meetup. They're gonna do one in Japan and one in Taipei. Which, by the way, nothing against Taipei or Japan. I think if it was only in Japan, I would actually be less jealous. The fact that they are doing it in multiple countries makes me just be like, not that I need to have another trip to go back to LA this year for like a second or third time, but I'm
Mhm.
like, could you just could you have given it to anywhere in the West at all? Like, no, of course not. But it's
They
like,
could
yes,
have, but they.
I know. Although you know what, because I was talking to this, because Kat recently asked me. Kat was like, "Hey, are you going to AX? Like, it's just a thing I can decide to go to, like fucking Costco." But I was like, "No, I'm not going to LA more than once, unless it's like something crazy." I was thinking about it because this will kind of go into like what's really Atlas got cooking for the rest of the year. I could
I'm
see them
telling
do.
you.
I could see them do this, and I want to get your opinion on this because I think you would fucking love this. They bring the fan meetup in the West to their Atlas booth at AX.
What fan meetup?
So remember how like I was saying like, oh, it's a shame that they're only doing them in Asia for the SMT Cross Raidou event.
Oh.
They
Yeah,
could
yeah, yeah.
easily do a really small scale thing at AX because spoilers, everybody, AX is in basically 2 months at this point. Uh, there's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be fucking anything there. Like in terms of like a major announcement, new like we'll probably have had God hope it Jesus at this point. At the very least, you have to imagine there will be a trailer update, if not release year, for P4R. But like I think it's too early for a demo. I think they're not gonna have P4R playable till TGS. Also, AX normally doesn't do demos very well. They take up a lot of space. They would rather do other things with it. I think you have a lot more opportunity to make money and make more people happy by doing that event at AX, and it has a higher chance of drawing people in like me.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're gonna do something. They have like I know Alice is definitely in their planning stage of what they're gonna do for AX because usually around this time is when they start to put things together. But I'm like the way it's looking, if they don't announce anything during like Summer Game Fest, then the booth is gonna be what? Like what is it gonna be like themed around? What is the merch they're gonna be selling? Like all of those
Larrue,
questions
Larrue,
come to mind.
worst case scenario, all they did was just do a massive order of all their print on demand shit from Amazon. That's all they bring. It's just all the Amazon stuff.
Hey, I'll wear that Mara shirt with pride.
Hashtag Mara Pride.
but but I don't know. Like there really isn't. I mean, there's so many anniversaries. None of them are being acknowledged. I'm like, and I know that they have to get approval for stuff. So I'm like I don't really know what they would do. I would like for them to bring the Rhino concert over, because I think it's the same people who did the SMT 30th anniversary concert, right? It's the Laid Back Devils or whatever.
That I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure.
I have the website. I'll pull it
I'm
up here with it. I'm gonna double check. Important to note though about it, they have already gotten ahead because they're at least doing better than they did in the last couple anniversaries of this. They did confirm that there will be no game announcements, like no nothing will be announced here with it, which I think for SMT5 makes sense. And obviously, I mean, we've mentioned it earlier. It would be cool to see Rider Remastered 2 get announced, but it's like in my head, I'm like, unless they were both in development at the same time, which like they could be, it's like this is not the year to crank
I
that
mean,
out. Like that's not what you want to have happen.
and to me, in an ideal world, Rhino would come out like sooner rather than later. But without it being announced, it seems really dumb. And I'm really sticking to my guns that Persona 4 is going to come out either November, December this year or early next year. I feel like so
That's
if
funny.
they haven't
Even
announced
with
any,
well, I would yeah, because
yep.
the Persona 4 stuff I was going to bring up of like I've been very steadfast of like Persona 4 has no reason to come out this year. So the game is done. Development of the
Yeah.
game is done. They're still doing all the other stuff with it, but it's like one of those ones of like, okay, you have two choices to release this game. Release it when it's done, aka when GTA 6 comes out and get absolutely hosed, or wait
Mhm.
a little bit after the anniversary year is over and then release it in the first quarter of 2027.
Yeah. I mean, that would be ideal for them to release it early 2027, but they like to basically screw themselves over, so I
I mean,
kind of
yeah,
almost feel
we
like
aren't talking about the company who said, "All right, guys, we only have two releases in 2025. What should we do? Release them a week apart from each other? Great plan."
say less.
um, but yeah, so like I'm still checking on the website for the band and stuff with it, but I think I
No, it says they're gonna be there. I don't know if they're. Yeah, it says the event will be handled by Laid Back Devil.
oh,
So
okay,
I
good.
I guess I mean I don't really know who they are besides the fact that they did the show for I want to say
I
SMT
mean
30th.
they're laid back and they're devils. What more do you need to know?
I mean they don't look that chill. I guess.
I gotta say though, I already know the concert merch already has you excited. The merch is only consists of two items so far: a bag and an acrylic plate. We're in. You already got me with the acrylic plate.
Oh, nice. I'm just so sick of acrylic. I went to animate because there's some animates in Los Angeles, and I was like, oh, let me see what Persona stuff they have, and it's just all the acrylic slop, and it's like one of the standees was like $40, and I'm like $40 for acrylic, like I can't even play or do anything with it. It's just a print on acrylic. So I'm looking forward to more acrylic at Raidou. Maybe they'll do like a Goto like light stick. I was trying to think of what could be the merch, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna honestly, if they wanted to go ham, obviously they would never do this. A like Raidou sword themed light stick would be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Or even like have like a blue purple one for Nahabino's like laser arm.
Hmm.
But
I would get that one. I mean, I would get them no matter what because I kind of like collecting those sticks, even though the ones that they've been putting out lately kind of suck.
listen, light
But
sticks are fun because they're at least like they are fun in the moment. There's something you can kind of interact with, and even if they're not always the best quality, you know it's going to be one of those things that
hmm
it's like if I'm not buying this here, I'm not going to get this at all.
yeah, that's exactly how light sticks operate.
I will say though, if they can find a way to make this happen, even if it's like only at AX. And the bummer is, even though I'm saying this, I know that if they announce this, especially because it's only in 2 months, I have no chance in hell of going. Um, a part of me would think it's really, really cool, just for the fact that that would mean in the West, in 1 year, we were able to do Persona, SMT, and Metaphor all in 1 year as a concert.
Yeah, don't get me started on the metaphor concept. I forgot that it was happening. Actually, that's
Like in
how excited
a
I
like in a
am.
good way or in a bad way.
No, like yeah, I forgot that was happening until you literally just mentioned it right now, and I had like this like panic attack of I'm going to that. I forgot. I'm excited, I guess, but I'll be honest. I listened to the Metaphor soundtrack at the gym the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the Metaphor soundtrack. I forgot. I don't even know. I don't even know. I I'm excited for everyone else to be happy. I guess. Let's put it that way.
I think because I feel like I think there's even I had a similar feeling. Obviously, more excited about the Persona one just because of the history behind it. There, I think,
Yeah.
especially coming off of how much fun we all had in LA, treating it more of a meetup than at a concert just by itself. I'm already more excited
Hmm.
just from the sense of being like, all right, I get to go to Chicago for the first time in forever. We're going to be able to do this. We're going to go be able to meet some new people, some old people, and like treat it more like a extended fan meetup with music. And like the fact that it has still so much time. I think the metaphor one's really easy to kind of forget just because of how early it got announced, but it's still one of those things where I'm like, hey man, that's like legitimately my most anticipated thing of the year, just because it's
Really?
like it came off of the high of that LA show that I was so ready for another one, and the fact that I wasn't expecting to do it immediately in the same calendar year is surprising.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I feel like just for me, I was just more excited for literally any other soundtrack.
But
If
I
it was
mean,
for any
but
other
it
game,
make
I would.
I feel like if you don't do this now, you'll never get one until like if there is ever even another metaphor game, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But I like the excitement I feel now is like it's lower than if they announced the Tokyo Mirage Session concert. I would actually
Oh my
pay
god,
extra to
dude!
get
Don't
like
even get me
multiple
started.
tickets.
I'm still so bummed they canceled the encore one and they've never done it
Yep.
again because of COVID. I was ready to like sell all my kidneys, go to Japan. That was a concert. I was like, they will never do this again. I have to go to this. And then of course COVID happened and and we'll just never get a chance. Never again.
Yeah, but I had to bring it up.
That honestly, I mean, like, I don't think I don't know how many people really even remember the fact that there was one Tokyo Mirage Sessions concert, but like, I think the fact that like they were willing to do it a second time leading into promoting the game coming out on Switch, I was like, oh, dude, like
Hmm.
this would have been insane, especially just because of like uh no matter how big, like we always think like our venues are here, like especially with all the Persona Super Lives they've been uploading again recently, it's been so funny of just like looking at like the arena sizes even from the shows like 10 plus years ago, and it's like god dude,
Hmm.
they are just in these insanely large arenas. It's not even comparable.
Oh wow.
Have you been checking out any of those? They uploaded, I think this week we now have 2013, 14, and 15. They uploaded all the super lives to YouTube.
Well, I'm kind of mad because I was archiving those, so I had them all private on my archive channel, where I literally just upload things that I can't find anywhere else. So I'm kind of mad that I have to like delete them. That I want,
I mean,
like I
you
just
could
have them on
always still
private,
you
but
could, yeah, I was gonna say you could still have that one. You'd be like, listen, I know all six of these views are for me.
they are. Because I don't know, but I was excited. I'm excited for the archival component. I already started doing it, so I was kind of like, all right. I mean, I still got to finish what I'm doing anyway,
I was more
because you know,
shocked that they're leaving them up permanently. I thought that they were gonna treat them like the movies or the Trinity Souls they did like a month or two ago, where they're up for like a month and then they nuke them. It's really cool that they're actually just leaving them up forever.
yeah, I'm actually curious about that. I'm really hoping that they're using the video viewing metrics as like like testing or like analytics in any way.
Dude, I
Oh wow,
forget
I
because
just
just
checked.
because of how long ago this was. Do you like where were you during the 2015 Super Live shows? Because that one was the video still on my channel. Like we literally did a like 70 plus hour live stream, just like staying up all 2 plus days just because A, we wanted to see it, and B, it was like everybody knew Persona 5 was going to be there. Like they had that whole like
Yeah, yeah.
newspaper ad. It was just like it was one of those things where I
Hmm.
was like, I am ready to call off work like an absolute chud just to stay up and watch this extremely sleep deprived. Because like I think for us it was like it went live at like maybe 3 or 4 in the morning when they finally revealed P5.
Yeah. I mean, I watched that too. I literally did the same thing. I was like uh, super closely watching that whole thing. Sorry, it's because I just checked my Twitter DMs, and apparently the Kazuma Kaneko thing had DM'd me like 5 weeks ago, and I just never looked. Ah!
No.
It wasn't an invite though. It was just letting me know they were going, I guess. So maybe it was like a soft launch to an invite.
That might actually have been meaner. Be like, hey, we thought we'd let you know we're gonna be near you. You're not allowed to come, but we wanted to let you know in case you found out. And this is us letting you know you are definitely not invited.
I mean, I guess it's too late now. Oh well, who cares? But the point is, I remember that excitement. I stayed up. I ended up calling off work the next day. I remember pog champing and screaming like everybody else.
The
I don't know.
I have to, if anyone ever goes, it's like one of my oldest videos. It used to have at least by like 10 plus years ago YouTube standards, it had a lot of views, ironically pre me being monetized. But one of my favorite things that I would always get comments or would get views about it was because people will go back to it and be like, "Oh, I was looking for the concert. This is the only thing that came up was this like crazy long live stream." And it's like, yeah, I mean, if you want to like listen to us listening to a concert for 2 days straight, you can do that through. By the way, just to date how old this was us doing a live stream through Google Hangouts.
Oh dang.
It was, yeah, that one was like Dylan and Devin were sleeping over at my place. I think it was Drew, Patrick, Waffles, and maybe we might have had a couple rotating chairs because I know I didn't expect everyone to like stay the whole time, but I like my best memory of it was everyone being basically 24 hours at least levels of sleep deprivation by the time the announcement was about to start, and just basically just like punting the bed trying to wake Dylan and Devin up, just be like, "You fucking falling asleep at the best part."
Hey, sleep's important.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, going back to, like, man, they really knew how to blow it out. Like, do you remember each night had a different announcement? Night one was where they did the big
Yep.
blowout for P4D, and having all that
Yep.
live and all that information was crazy. Like, honestly, like, it's great they didn't do that. They could have just ended it there. The fact that there was even more the next night for a completely different game that everyone was gonna freak their pants out about was just crazy.
Yeah, and I kind of wish Alice was more like that. Still,
Yeah,
it feels like
I miss the showmanship of it. It's like, listen, when you only show stuff at like Jeff Keighley or Xbox shows, it kind of makes it more predictable and less fun when you show up again.
heavy on the less fun because I also don't want to watch a Jeff Keighley thing just for the off chance that they're going to be like, and Persona. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I would have rather watched the Persona concert for you to announce it.
Um,
But yeah.
Last little bit that I want to bring up, I guess it's kind of a 2.1. Did you see the announcement they're doing a Raidou pop up shop?
Yeah, is that the one with the two Raidou and Raidou without the U
Yes, that
figure? Or
honestly,
I feel like I mean
I
correct.
think the fact that they're doing it is cool just in general. I don't know how big. I mean, I know because I saw the sales numbers. Like, I know Raito is not that crazy popular in Japan, but I think it's cool of them to do an anniversary shop, like a pop up event. But what I thought was extra
Yep.
cool about it was like, man, I forget if they've said, but whoever did the art showing both Raidos and both Gotos is like they look so good. Like the art is super clean, and then like shout out to, I imagine this is the first Goto plushie because it'll have like an actual like plush of him.
Um it's the first Godo plush. Yeah. But
Now
it
this go
looks like the one from Aegis Rim.
oh, it
And
does look like that one for him. Now I will say this will go back to the limited run debate. Is this Goto or like is this you cat or no you cat? Like what do we how do we know? Can it be both? How will we
it
know
could
which cat
kind
I
of be.
have?
It's if it has the necklace. That's Godo or Goto without the U. I don't remember which one has the neck. The no, I said necklace. I meant what do you call it? The thing. Uh, collar. I think Goto has the collar and Go. No, they. Oh, they don't. It's not like that anymore because both of the arts have Goto with the collar. Huh.
I'm
I
looking
have
it
no
up
idea how to
now.
tell who's
I'm
who.
looking it up now. I'm doing Goto versus Goto. Let's see here. All right, how to tell the difference. Apparently there is also a person in Parasite named Goto. That does not make my life easier. All right, we got to do Raito. Uh, Man, no, because unless they changed it. So wait, Goto in the original game. Goto with a
does
U
not have an
had no
yeah,
collar. Does
yeah,
Goto with a
but
U
Goto
have one in remastered?
he okay, so this is the thing. Goto in all the promo art does not have a collar, but in the game he does. And then they differentiate it by in the game also, I guess when they show like the other Goto talking, he doesn't have the collar. Or he does. It's weird, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to be. Because when you look at all the art for regular Goto, he doesn't have a collar on him, but in the game he does, and in the manga too.
I'd ha-
I
I'd,
just
I'd hate to be whoever runs the
I,
Megaton wiki. That's all I'm saying.
I think is I like the Goto plush because it's so ugly. You know what I mean. I'm pretty sure you understand exactly what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I mean
It's so ugly that I want
he's
it.
got like derpy face for sure.
And it's the fact that he reminds me of this is like a weird old person thing, but Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the you know what
Sabrina.
I'm talking about, the puppet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Her
like
cat.
like it looks so like it's so not a real like they didn't go for the anime cuteness that I think a cat plush would normally like ask for. So I kind of love it a lot, but I don't know if I think it's like $80, isn't it, or something like that. I know it's expensive.
I've got an image I'm sending
Oh,
you.
so it's $50. It's $50,
And
which is actually not
it
that
looks
bad.
like a
But
decent size. I don't know if it's like life size, like cat life size, but it
it says it's 1 to 1.
okay. I was gonna say because
Or,
it looked like it
yeah.
was. Now I'm gonna try and one up you. How do you feel about a 5-inch Goto plush for $250? How does that make you feel?
Well, first of all, I hate that render.
Someone did that. Someone got paid for that 3D render and was like, you know what? I need to like make like a post that's like both of these plush being like like, when they say we've got the Goto plush at home. You got Timu Goto.
I will say though, it does have the whiskers, and the $50 plush does not have the whiskers.
I'm gonna say this right now
That's where
because it
that
has not been shipped yet. Fully expecting now that we've said this, it will ship without whiskers.
it probably will. It probably or it'll be like printed on like
No.
like a printed on face. Uh, I mean, sorry, I don't want to go. I don't want to do the whole thing of how much I hate limited run, but you already know.
I mean, listen, Lure,
Your friend,
you hate limited runs so much that the CEO agreed with you and then fired himself. I think that's pretty commendable.
I think they saw my tweets.
Yo, you know what? We'll do that. We'll do this as a segue because I need to get us into the Tsukuyomi talk. I
Oh
have
yeah,
no way to prove this, but one of my largest complaints for the longest time about Tsukuyomi is that only in the West, and it's very weird, that if Tsukuyomi has two Twitter accounts, one for their JP account
yep.
that's got like 22,000 followers, they have always allowed public replies. And then
Uh
if
huh.
you go to the English one, they have had replies locked for months and months and months and months and months. And I kid you not, the day I sent, because I was emailing them like the day after my video posted. It was very funny when I posted my impressions video where I make a big note about this, that they had their like about just going into like them not really feeling like they're listening to the community. Like when you're locking off replies to all like Western audiences, it feels like that's a good way of you saying you don't care. That was one of my big things in my video I mentioned on. And the day they emailed me asking like, "Oh, hey, have you posted anything about the game yet?" I sent that to them. Within like 6 hours, they made another post, and then now the replies are open. And I'm like, I have no way to prove this, and it doesn't change anything because everyone's opinion on the game is already pretty much set in stone. But I'm like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
believe that my head canon is that I bullied them into putting the replies on finally.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it is the case because I can tell you why the replies are off. Actually,
AI bad. AI is
like
bad. Slop, 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 slop.
yeah, more or less, but specifically it was I forget their username, but they're the one that would archive a lot of Kazuma Kaneko art, and they were like talking about the game a lot
Oh,
too.
was it
And
Vesk or what was their name?
yeah, Vesk. if I remember correctly, they quote retweeted one of the things showing that they had like I want to say demons, demon summoner or devil summoner. I mean, or something in the files, like in the files of the game that wasn't supposed to be there, and I think she was like critiquing it or something, and then after that they locked the comments. So it's her fault. That's what I understand, or that's what I
one more
remember.
piece of Kaneko art history stolen by Vesk. Thanks, Vesk.
No, but yeah, I mean, I'm really apprehensive about the game in general, just because I know that my video isn't really that kind at all, and I'm trying to figure like I'm trying to find ways to not be just totally a hater about it, because it is kind of it's not the most entertaining video. Just be like, yeah, this stinks.
I think
You know,
now before we kind of talk about this will be an interesting conversation of uh I mean maybe there's 6 people out there who will care. I think there are a lot of people who are interested in learning about this game or talking about this game infinitely more than purchasing it and playing it. The kind of reason I wanted to bring you on here was a so it's not just me ranting and raving in a room alone by myself about this game, but since we both played it, we both kind of come from similar interests in terms of it. I will say, and this would almost be a completely different episode as well, because it does kind of get back to the comments thing with it. I would love to have a conversation with someone, specifically like someone who is either like in Japan or like even just like someone who is a lot more active in Asian AI tech fields, because I know like it's not even like it's like it's a guess or a rumor at this point. It's like no, Asia is a lot more pro AI than even consumers are in the West, and it's one of those things that
yeah.
like I would be so curious to see what does the normal like person playing Tsukuyomi feel about this game if they are already like if they're not jumping into it with the kind of instant negativity that almost all generative AI things have in the West. You know what I mean?
I mean, from what I can see, they're not really saying anything. Like they're not like if there's no negativity, at least if
They're
that's what you're
they're they're
asking.
voting with their wallets, and like there's a lot of different angles to kind of jump to with Tsukuyomi. Um, and if for whatever reason you don't know what it is, I did an introduction video that I'll link in the description or the podcast notes for this one if you want to check out the game. The most too long didn't read is basically it is a card battling RPG. You're not even deck building, you're deck collecting more than anything. It's very
Mhm.
streamlined. It originally launched last year as I want to say Divine Card Hunter Tsukuyomi. It was free to play on
Yep.
PC and iOS and Android, released worldwide, and now that the PC and iOS versions or the PC and mobile versions have been delisted, the only way to play now is on Nintendo Switch, and it's $25. It's the complete game from last year. I would say no microtransactions, but God bless them, they couldn't let all the Atlus juice follow off them, so they did have to have extremely overpriced Day One Demon DLC, which is completely broken and not needed at all. Um, but the thing with it is, imagine if you have not played a similar game like it, like a Slay the Spire or a similar kind of like card battling RPG with hints of Shin Megami Tensei theming, but not in terms of storytelling or character depth. Like, it's an incredibly shallow world that at least for me, and obviously this is going to be very like opinion stuff for it, like it feels like and this is extra funny because it's kind of like coming back. I think of those old experience games that they always put out on Vita. Like we would always joke about them
Hmm.
feeling like the poor man's Atlus clone. And like I look at those games even after playing Tsukuyomi, and I'm like, man, at least those games had their identity. This game's identity,
Yeah.
it feels like a 6 out of 10 idea for a game wrapped in a 0 out of 10 soulless husk. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my thing is with the whole game, because I played the original release, like I actually played it to near completion. I got to like the close to the very end of the game. I just couldn't beat it because like it's actually kind of hard. The thing that the actual bones of it is fine because it is basically just Slay the Spire, but with like it's hard to describe how the Kaneko-ism works, but the Kaneko-ism almost feels like, hey, do you remember Raidou? Well, here's a bunch of Raidou-ish looking people that are like Raidou but worse. And then it's like, oh, like you do you remember my Choo Choo Lane art design that was super iconic? Here's a slightly worse version of that, and it's actually Finn McCool, and it's like a bunch of that. It's like it almost feels like a whole bunch of remember I used to be great. Like it's like
A
Grandpa.
lot of
So
member berries, like way too many
yeah, and
member
I'm like,
berries.
and I'm not opposed to nostalgia. Like on a spiritual level, I understand. If I was an iconic like artist, I would want you to remember all the cool stuff I did too. But because that's all it is, it's hard to really say anything about the game besides like the 3 points. It definitely is a remember me. I used to be great. Plus AI, plus not being particularly good in any regard. Like it's not. I don't think the story is that good. I don't think the gameplay is that good for a Slay the Spire ish game. It doesn't beat Slay the Spire for me. I'd rather just play that, which is getting a sequel by the way. But
Bro, what do you mean getting a sequel? It's been in early access for a month and it's been literally in the top 10 most active games on Steam. They picked the worst time to release this game.
by the way, this is we need to talk about this part. The thing that gets me about this game is I don't think it was going to come out this time. I really feel like they rushed it forward
Oh,
because Koji
100%.
Okada also came out of retirement. He came out of retirement to announce his game, and literally the day after, Kaneko was like, "By the way, my game comes out this week."
I agree.
I don't know if
I
he.
think there's a lot of signs that like it was rushed out. It doesn't match for like fiscal year timing kind of stuff like that, although even that's different in
Uh,
Japan. The weird stuff with it is like I think from like and no offense to Colopal or whatever, I think that you can tell that they are not a traditional video game publisher and developer. They are known for blockchain games. They are known for trend chasing. And you look at any publisher out there with either knowledge of pre-release, post-release, release timing, the one thing that should have shot you in the face and said, "Hey, you know what you shouldn't do in terms of releasing?" They released this game, and I don't know if you play it or are aware of it. There is one game that came out not the same month or like around it like Slay the Spire was, because at least Slay the Spire is only on PC, and even though that's early access and like literally like blowing up on there and doing crazy well, they did something even more egregious. They released it the same day as Vampire Survivors sequel, Vampire Crawlers, a literal card battling RPG that was less than half the price, has infinitely more content, and was universally agreed upon as a way better game on all accounts. Like they could
See,
not
I
have
didn't
had
even know
that
that.
was their GTA 6. They decided, "Hey, you know what? We're going to release on the worst day possible and have the worst starting foot forward." Would you agree?
Yeah, that's really egregious. Actually, I didn't even know that. I guess I'm not really up to date on card battle.
Well, I think
It's just
it's a different one where I think most people are like you. I think most people who are interested in this game are not coming at it because they are fans of the genre. They are probably RPG fans who are interested in what is Kazuma Kaneko putting his name on. But at the same time, it's like again, this goes back to it's like this isn't them being bad developers. This is like something a publisher would kibosh immediately. You know, it's like it's not like
yeah.
Vampire Survivors is a small indie game. It's not like no one knew this was coming out. Both of these games were featured in Nintendo Directs. Like these games had marketing.
Oh,
They just did every wrong move possible.
yeah. I mean, what gets me the most about this game and its marketing is that it really was trying to bank on Kaneko's like audience, like people who love Kaneko and were like, "Oh, what's that old guy doing?" But I think that he like I think literally the biggest misstep was the AI because his audience I think is predominantly Western people. There are people in Japan who are big fans, but the hullabaloo around this game is significantly bigger in America and Europe and stuff. But it's not positive. It's all just talking about the AI. I feel like that whole component like really messed up any real meaningful like traction they could have got because yeah, like all that's it's a big part of my review too. Is just the AI of it all. Like, how necessary was it? How like you know what I mean?
No, I 100% agree, and that's like one of the shames about like I feel like there are four different videos that I could do about this game alone. I think the development is crazy. I think the release is crazy. I think the reception to the AI of it is crazy. And then this is the worst part about it. At its core, there is a good to okay game here. It's not like while playing it, I'm like,
Yeah.
this is dog tread. Like, there are way worse playing games out there. The problem is, it's almost like, and not to as severe of an extent, it's like Concord. Do you remember when Concord came out? Like, when you talk to people who
Hmm.
actually played it, there were people who were like, no, I like what's here. Like, it's really ugly and it's dumb, but, like, the gameplay is fun. And, like, it was one of
Yeah.
those things that it's like, yeah, there is something to Tsukuyomi that is worth playing, is worth experiencing, and does fun things that not only worked well playing it on PC and mobile, but was an added experience to the things they chose to bring to the Switch version. But then you just like think about it, and it's like all anyone wants to talk about is like, look how bad this looks. And then you talk to the developers, and this kind of goes back to when we were talking about the preview events and the interviews. It's like they they've never denied once that the game uses generative AI. I think what I really thought left a bad taste in my mouth was the way they talked about it pre PC launch versus pre Switch launch. Now, did you follow much of the coverage before the game came out last year?
Yeah, I was on it actually a lot. I actually had a couple viral tweets, which is why I was really surprised that they even DM'd me. Uh I remember pointing out the way that the AI wasn't actually just trained on new art for sure, and it wasn't just trained on Kaneko's art.
Because I think what was an interesting differentiator that if you didn't play both games, you wouldn't know this is Tsukuyomi OG, mobile and PC, or I guess we'll call it Tsukuyomi OG versus Kazuma Kaneko Tsukuyomi, is
Mhm.
the original game had active development generating art. When you were going to Okami, that was generating you actual
Yeah.
AI assets. Versus this game is using all of that, plus now there's new art. And the way that they leaned into talking about it this time was, oh, no, no, no. There's no more new generative AI. We're taking the best of what was in the last game and we're supervising it, bringing it over, and then adding in new art on top of it. The problem with that was they acted like, yeah, never forget, never forget Elsa. Elsa AI. Like the thing about it that like drove me up a wall as I kept playing the game more was clearly there is no way with the time there or even like especially like I don't know if you've seen the credits like this is an incredibly small team who worked on this game. It's like
Yeah.
no one could have looked at all of these art assets and clearly like multiple pieces of art have multiple errors like did you see that siren I posted like a week ago where like literally
Yep.
she has a cigarette connected to a cigar like the cigarette's the filter and it's like clear there
Yeah.
the game has got so many faux pas to the art, but it's like yeah, these weren't made for this game, but they are recycled from a game that generated them last time. And I'm like, and as someone who only played the Switch version and just pretty much ignored the original, it's like I'm now going back looking at the original game and I'm like, "Oh my god, we're getting the good ones. Like there's worse that we
Yeah.
didn't get. But at the same time, I'm like, if this is the good ones and they still look this bad and this like all over the place thematically, it's like I would have much rather, instead of having a game with 3,600 demons inspired by Kaneko, I would rather have had a game that had 30 demons. Like, I don't care how
Yeah.
small it would have been. Obviously, it wouldn't have worked as well for like a card thing. But like, then it almost like even goes into this like, and again, this is then jumping back into like the development thing of it, and this is a different team entirely. I was talking to someone about this recently. They thought that Tsukuyomi was the old NFT thing he did. And I'm like, no. Those are two completely different things. Like that would almost have made more sense if the NFT thing wanted to be a card game, but it's like no, no, no. This is him doing this multiple times. This isn't like, oh, he's done it once and he's too deep, he can't pull out now. It's like no, like this is like his third dip into the pool.
Yeah. And it's not a very good dip.
No, and it's like, by the way,
Uh,
I would be so curious to know. And it can't have been his choice. He must either maybe have put more money into it or is getting a better percentages of sales now versus spoilers, guys. Since this was free to play last year, they made no money on this. Um, this never charted anywhere on any system, Steam, Android, whatever, and never made any like moves on the charts with that. The crazy thing is, if I'm Kazuma Kaneko, I would be like, why is my name on this now? Now, obviously, if his name wasn't on this, I think if this is just called Tsukuyomi, nobody plays this. Spoiler alert, what happened last year. But now, like, after having played the product, if I was him, I would be like, holy shit, dude. I'm embarrassed by this. Like, do I want like and again, we don't know what his situation is. Like maybe he has just got a crazy amount of dedication toward his team, or maybe he has a crazy amount of pachinko debt. I don't know. But it's like this is the kind of thing that I'm like, I would pay money to remove my name from this.
yeah. My thing is, so what I look at it as is I feel like the bones of the game have a lot of potential. Even the quote unquote story, like in and of itself, it's really just another it's very what is it called? It's very power not Power Rangers, it's Super Sentai
Oh yeah, the
ish.
Tsukiyomi
In
agents are very Sentai coded. Like even to the fact that they're
yeah,
color
and
coded, they're fucking all color coded.
yeah. And I'm like, this all this stuff seems fine if it was like a competent game company and it was that's basically what it needed. It needed just someone who was actually good at game design to make the game because I think the ideas were fine, the bones were fine, even the art that isn't just AI, which I'm also kind of skeptical if he even made it originally or if he did like a reverse engineering of prompting and then drawing based on the prompt. But even the art that he made for the game isn't bad. But since it really is kind of mostly just remember the old times, it it feels cash grabby and it feels really insincere, which makes it sad to see all of his Twitter posts where he's trying really hard to sell the game. And I'm like, unfortunately, like no one cares, old man. Like no one.
Well, and that's the interesting thing because I will say, because the game doesn't go out of its way to differentiate it, although if you are not blind, it's plain as day. You can instantly tell the art that is drawn by him versus the art that is clearly inspired and learning from him. Like all the characters that you see in the story mode, all of those are drawn by him. Those are real characters. Do they all have giraffe necks? You better fucking believe they do. But it's like it's got his
Hmm.
style. I think it's probably not the cleanest it's ever looked, but it's like it's not his worst, it's not his best. It's very much like, I think he probably came up with 5 character designs and had to stretch that across 20 different characters. That's what it feels like to me. And like
Yeah.
in terms of the body, like the body design. Do you know what I mean? It was like you either look like this, you stand up straight, you're tall, you're short, you're wide, or you have a scrunch neck or you have a long neck. Like that's kind of like those are your really only like design differences between everybody, just with how limited the cast is. And when I was looking at it some more, one of the other things that really stood out to me was the art, even though they're all inspired, whether it be by him or by the AI, it's like, I don't know, like, how are you playing this? Like, at least for me, like, I got whiplash constantly playing this game. I never adjusted to the art. The art constantly found new ways to take me out of the game. Like, I remember, like, when I finally got to, like, for lack of a better word, the Horde boss that's just angry white people, I was like, someone
Yeah.
saw this and was like, what's the theme here? They're just a bunch of angry white people who maybe they're supposed to be zombies, but we don't want to call them zombies, so we're just going to do that. And then it's like there is no like I don't know how familiar this is with people outside of like things who follow art or games. Like this is a game which again for a game that like is so centered on having new collectible art or demons to fight against, this is a game that bafflingly I feel like no one ever sat back and asked, "Hey, what's our art bible for this? What's our design? What is the world of Tsukuyomi's like art bible look like?" And I feel like it would look like a fucking spirit board had sex with a Ouija board.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing about like the art that really gets me is I'm just really skeptical about where this art came from or what it was
Oh,
trained on
yes.
because because when you look at the non-Conoco demon designs, they don't look like anything related to Conoco. The coloring is so weird and different, like compared to like the Conoco ones, which look like a regular Conoco design, even if they're not like the best or most interesting. I there's a handful that when I was looking at them, I was like, wow, this would have been cool if Conoco drew it, but because of the rendering and and everything else, it's kind of like ruined. Like, there's this one it's called Jinma, and it's like this lady with spirals for eyes
Oh, yeah, I
and
have that
spirals on
one.
her hands. It looks so good, but then I'm like, well, the concept of it. But then I'm like looking at it, I'm like, man, it's just that it's ruined because it doesn't look good. Like the coloring and stuff is so weird. It doesn't it and I think that's the thing that got me the most about the art is that the inconsistency. Like if they're gonna use AI, I think the next step would have been to just go over all these art pieces and make them look consistent at least. Because one of the things he did during the mobile game era is basically every I want to say it was every week or every month he would pick one of a handful of designs that people liked from the randomly generated slop, and then he would redraw it or he would draw over it essentially.
That was
And
like
like
their ritual streams they would do. And I looked at a couple of those and
yeah,
I was like that's actually kind of an interesting premise that spoilers they stopped as soon as they discontinued the game, and it's like why not
yep,
just take that energy and do that to this game completely?
yeah, because I wouldn't say that I liked all the redesigns, but like they looked better because they were actually conical art, even if it was not full conical art. Like there's this one that's Kansu, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't really look like anything I would have associated with that particular deity, but it looks better than the slop. Like
And I
there's like
will
so
say
many naked.
another another weird one with like the
It's like
demons that just kept like popping up in my head was like I'm trying to like think of even like how to like phrase it with it. It would be like when Okami comes out, whether it be each floor after you hit the requirement and stuff for it, and it would give you each one of those. Outside of the fact that ooh yippee, it's a new card. I felt like
mm-hmm.
every time, no matter how many times I would get Okami, it was the worst looking out of all of them. Like the demons you fought, at least like they don't look good, but they at least kind of felt more concise. Like you look at the zombie, you look at the succubus, you look at those, and you go like, okay, I can kind of see this in my deck, and it makes sense. Versus, all right,
Yeah.
you've got Fian McCool, we're gonna give you three bad versions of him. All right, we've got Satan, you've got
Yeah.
three bad versions of Satan, and like the thing with it would just be like, man, no offense, like obviously the three bad versions are just whatever like prompt you want to like give it to kind of almost make it
Yeah.
simulate the fact that it's generating it, which again, who wants that? Like, who, when playing this, is like, oh, yippee, I burned down three trees for this really bad drawing. Like, it's like, no, I don't want you to simulate. It would be like, if I got Satan, just give me Satan. I don't need it to be like, because again, there's only three. It's not like we're feeling like we have a unique version of Satan that's different than yours.
Yeah. And like like I'll be honest, I only put like a couple hours into the Switch version just because I was like, well, I already played this game. So I beat the first two bosses, so I went up whatever, and there's not really that much big of a difference besides the perspective shift of like the way the characters are, because it's like front facing in the original, like more standard first person dungeon crawling looking, and this version it's like not, I guess, which is not really that big of a difference. But the the way that they present the new fake AI generation stuff, I don't really understand, because it's like they think that the novelty of it that people would have enjoyed was the AI generated art, but it wasn't. People in the Discord server really enjoyed it, like the Japanese people did, but that's it. And they only enjoyed it so much as to like point out, oh, this one kind of looks good. This one kind of looks like it's a conical piece. Or, oh, look at all these bad ones, which is how so many of the bad ones got popular, because people were posting them in the Discord server. So it's like, I don't know. Like, overall, I don't really have anything positive to say about the game in any meaningful way, beyond the fact that I'm like, if they had a real team behind it, like a real team with experience with this type of game design or game development, it would have felt more than just a game. Like, it feels like a mobile game that you'd be forced to watch ads to continue playing, rather than a fully refined Switch title, if that makes sense.
And I think at least there's like one or two little things about AI want to say, and then we can kind of get into the gameplay before we wrap it up. Is like, I
Yeah.
think with the AI, outside of like again the biggest offense outside of it all being almost all AI generated, is like their kind of like pridefulness of being like, look at how much we can like generate by using this with such a small team and still be able to create so much. And it's like, I just feel like it's like those people who are like, look at all the time I saved, and I'm like, dude, like no offense, do we look like we're in need of another new game? Like, has anyone ever said to you, so like, man, I need another new game to play? And it's not saying that like I don't want new people to be putting out new games, but it's like I feel like if you are putting out a game, shouldn't you kind of want to be putting out something you're proud of or feel like stands out or is adding something new to the genre? Whereas like unfortunately the only thing this really adds to me that I haven't experienced very much in the genre is just, okay, you are a okay to play game with a lot of very offensive art to my personal senses and tastes, while at the same time just trying to come across as we are going to be as legally undistinct from Atlus as possible and hope that they just are too bored to ever sue us. Because it's like, it goes back to that thing of like,
Yeah.
and I'm sure he's like kind of pigeonholed by, I bet you that he probably would like to design new creatures or new things like that, but because of how long Megaten has been around, they're kind of pigeonholed. And at the same time, he's already done so many different designs over so many years. Because he was at what? He was at Atlus for at least 20 to 20 plus years, right?
Yeah, since like early 90s, so oof,
Because
2000.
because he
He
was at
left
least
around
still.
2016.
Yeah, but I
Yeah, he
mean
left
like
around
but I mean
2016,
in terms
so
of being like creatively actively working, I would almost cut him off at like post Raidou 2, you know?
I would say 2007, because that's Strange Journey slash
Yes.
SMT4.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good point
So
with it, and like with that, it's kind of that thing of like, yeah, he's committed so much of his most well-known art, and a lot of, I think people would agree, his best stuff to a company that now owns the rights to it. He can't use any of this, and now has to basically start over from scratch. And now he's at an
hmm
age where it's much harder or takes much longer for all of that to happen. That it's like, yeah, it's got to be tough, but it's like again, it just goes back to that thing where it's like, was the world like did the genre of card battling RPGs need Kazuma Kaneko to come in and redefine it with AI, or did this just seem like a really fun, probably cheap way to get a cash grab when AI was hot? Let's crank out this game, try it free to play, try it as a full product. We'll put someone who's probably not that expensive to get, but at least has some recognition around the West, especially in Japan, and if it catches on, great. And if it doesn't, who cares? We only made a couple people work on it for a year or two.
yeah, I mean, the, based on the way that they marketed, especially in the original release, they talk about how first of all, apparently Kaneko was looking for a job and no one knew, which I'm like, dang. So he doesn't have that much sway because if no one knew and immediately was like, oh, let me jump on it, then that's kind of interesting because he had been gone from Alice for at least 4 or 5 years before he just randomly started doing the NFT thing and then did this. But the other thing that was that they kept their attempt at being unique and genre defining was them being the first to do AI, and I think they thought that it would be a fun marketing tactic that everyone would enjoy for the most part. Because I remember one of the early interviews, Kaneko said something to the effect of, "Well, it was going to happen no matter what, and he wanted to be the first, even if it's controversial." And I'm like, mm, I mean,
I
you
feel
got both of what you asked for, but
I don't know if you get this vibe. I feel like from all the interviews I've seen with him, especially after the release of the Switch one, I feel like whether he was let go or left on his own accord, in terms of being a full-time Atlus employee, I feel like he probably kind of got to that level of like, okay, I'm big enough that I could do whatever I want on my own without having to be uh, kind of shackled to Atlus and them taking all the credit, similar to what most recently happened with Meguro. And I'm like, I think that there's a way that you can do that. The problem is he kind of just basically left at the height of his popularity, and instead of trying to venture off with a lot of smaller or different companies and projects and doing things, instead of becoming the next Amano, he just kind of became a footnote. Like he's gonna be as remembered, if not less remembered, the way like people talk about like the old heads at Atlus in terms of writing, design, and art. Like I don't know how, especially after Tsukuyomi, you look at all the stuff he's doing now and are like, man, Doi's got nothing on this guy.
yeah, actually, what's funny is the reappraisal of Doi because of this. I've seen so many people who've said so many hateful things about Doi being like, "Oh my God, my king," and it really is kind of bad because I feel bad for Kaneko because I think he thought his legacy was bigger than the blowback he'd get, and unfortunately that's just not the case. It, the way he chose to do his exit and everything really did him no favors.
And I mean, I will say,
But,
I don't want this to be the last thing, or the last part of his legacy. I will say,
hmm
again, going back to God, I don't know why he ever agreed to putting his name on this version of the game. Like when the game boots up and there's like it's part of the splash screen, it's like the Kazuma Kaneko like game lineup that's coming up. Of like, I don't know who needs to hear this. Everybody, you can sit down if you're scared. I don't think we're getting another game that is named with this dude in it, if ever, for a very long time. Like I think it would be much better for his like public relations to just be like, do what you did. Oh man, why am I forgetting the name? Was it the Lost Child, that Vita game?
oh yeah, yeah.
Like, do that again. Work on a game where someone will find out at release that you were on it, and people are like, "Oh, hey, that's cool."
Hmm.
Like I don't know, like for you,
Yeah, I
if you
mean,
had to recommend him something, just because it's like, dude, art is not like it ever gets any easier, but like being an artist is such a flooded and constantly competitive landscape to just always be in that like you're not always going to be hot shit forever, and especially kind of coming off of this trying to be writing the like next big thing for tech, I feel is just like not a reputation killer, but definitely a stain on a very long running reputation.
yeah, and there's still a lot of questions too, because another thing that like I mean not like everybody cares about, but I've been wondering, what about his like collaborator, Megumi Shiraishi, the colorist? Because when you look at the art, it looks like it was colored by her, but she's not, her signature's not on anything, and
No,
she's not brought up
she's not even,
anywhere.
yeah, she's not even in the credits of the new one either, I noticed.
Yeah, so I'm like, like that's kind of what made me think how much of this art is actually him at this point, because maybe he did use her training, like maybe he trained the art on him on his stuff, because when you look at when you look at his new art when he posted on their on the Twitter, it has a different signature that's new, and the signature literally just says Kazuma Kaneko. Like it's just a stamp that says Kazuma and then Kaneko on the bottom, and I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. Like I guess that means she's dead, maybe. Like maybe that's a little. I guess she might have moved on, but then it makes me look at the art too, like looking at the coloring and stuff, and I'm like, is it AI? Is it him? Is it her? But she's just like under a contract where she's not gonna be mentioned. But that's like antithetical to his like original stuff that he said way back in the '90s about wanting to credit the new team and make sure everybody gets their like gets their piece of the pie or whatever. I don't know. I have a lot of like weird questions about this game, and almost none of it is related to the actual like enjoyment of the game. It's more like why is this game exist and why does all these things exist in the way they do, which is tragic. It's it's I think that if anything, my wish for him is that with Koji Okada coming back, I really hope that it turns out that he's gonna be working on the project too somehow or something. Because one of the things I've been wondering is that it's been really weird that all these old Atlas people have been coming back to do mediocre releases, and they don't seem to be collaborating or even recognizing each other or commenting on each other's thing, which is like a weird, like it's a missed opportunity to market, because if he hyped up Okada's game and Okada hyped up his game, and then you know, Kazunari Suzuki or one of the other people hyped up the stuff, I feel like that would be a good way of garnering any kind of attention. But instead, they're all like riffing on each other in a way, because like I said, the way that this announcement for the release date came out, it was right after the hyped up Okada reveal where he was going to reveal all about his game, literally the same days when he announced, oh yeah, my game comes out this like soon, like buy it. And it's almost like he was trying to take some of the attention away from the announcement. I don't know.
It's hard to not, it's hard to almost make it, and this kind of goes back to like the me not being sure if he just left of his own accords or if there's bad blood, because it's like you look at all of these projects from ex Atlas staff and how they never work together outside of give or take two or three staff members, and it's like,
Yeah.
do you guys not realize that like if you all just stuck together as a team, not saying you would make the next Persona, but you would have a much easier time keeping that legacy and even those fans a lot more interested in everything, because when we lived in a
Yep.
world, even when there was just Caligula, it was easy to at least
Hmm.
say, all right, this is the first big game from an ex Atlas staff member who worked on Persona. Whereas like now it is so split up all over the place. And like you look at the fact that like if I'm not playing Varlet, who was playing Varlet, you know?
Hmm. And that kind of goes double with the new Shoji Meguro game. It's like, well, when it comes out eventually, it's like I think he would have done better to have someone who actually knew anything about game design help him with this game.
I feel
But
like with Meguro, he's the first ex Atlas member to be doing it completely self-funded though. So I give him a little bit more
Hmm.
leniency that I'm curious about that. It's a completely different genre. It's a completely different kind of thing for him. And I've even messaged him, and the few times I've messaged him pre-Kickstarter and post-Kickstarter, I will say I am always shocked that it is actually him messaging. Like, it's him running his socials, it's him out there talking to people, it's something he's working on. So like I think there's such a genuine kind of like one man indie, like there's a genuine indie game feel to that game that none of the other games even get to, whether they have a large staff or a small staff. That I'm at least rooting for. I'm rooting for Megaro's game in a way more so from a fan of just indie development and self-publishing. It got, especially in Japan, dude. Japan, like, funding is fucked here, and I mean funding is fucked all over the world, but funding in Japan especially is so rough. Like, he was really lucky to do that Kickstarter when he did, and with how small
Hmm.
that team is. But I mean, in terms of getting it across the finish line, I know they still have quite a ways to go. So like, I'm wishing them luck. And honestly, kind of going back to Tsukuyomi, and this is more of a dig of how they did it and why. I don't even know why they did this. Look at like the DMC collab they did with this game. Why DMC?
Hmm.
Why no new drawings at all? Imagine how much of a slam dunk it would have been for, after what, 20 plus years later, Kazuma Kaneko to finally do a new rendition of like Devil Trigger, Dante, Nero, and Virgil. Like, people would lose their shit if he drew them.
Yeah, I mean, but that would have gone crazy. But in the slightly related to that, when they announced that collab, there was like a news agency that thought that the designs that were there were his designs, which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
There was like some.
I I mean
Yeah.
it's tough, but then the other one that and by the way, I'm assuming with how early you were in the game, you didn't even get to the collab, probably, right?
No,
Like,
I don't even know
it's
where it comes
it is
in.
buried. It's like post beating the game. It's like a little thing that you can then like beat them and then add them to your deck. It's like, it's such a nothing burger of like no story. They're not even like, dude, they make the worst collab in DX2 look like Shakespeare. That's how little they tried to like add them to the world of Tsukuyomi. Like, they did not try at all.
Well, in the defense of DX2, I feel like every collab that like has some of the best story compared to the actual story of the game. The collab stories tend to actually have way too much effort,
I feel like that's
and
just
then
because
the
they get to
actual
have fun with
stories
it, though.
probably actually because the actual game story is so like mediocre, even like outside of it being SMT. If you didn't even know what SMT was, it's just like so bottom of the barrel time travel like slop, I guess. So I will defend DX2's collab content for being actually good.
Oh, I mean, I love DX2's collabs. I just more kind of meant in terms of a one for one comparison of like when a mobile game is doing a collab, it's like your expectations are already in a certain headspace, you know?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
So like,
But
no disrespect to DX2. If anything, it's more of just a diss on vanilla DX2 story.
Vanilla DX, I mean, it is tragic. It's actually one of the least. I mean, well, I like to. I mean, luckily they can kind of get around it by saying that it's not actually Alice that wrote the story, but it is just some of the worst story ever associated with an Atlas thing, for sure.
So,
But I mean,
oh man,
what
my
what
door
would
just
you
opened.
what would you want more out of this? By the way, would you want Tsukiyomi 2, or would you want like just a new title also made by Kaneko?
I
Same team.
enjoyed the card building mechanic and the gameplay way more than I thought. I think balancing wise, it fucking shits the bed immediately after like the 5 hour mark. They immediately just go, "How do I make game hard?" Oh, die. Because at first I was like, when I first started the game, I was like, "Why is there a level up mechanic?" These levels do almost nothing. The levels are like ripped out of a battle pass. Like, what are we doing here? And then as I kept playing, I was like, oh, the only way the game knows how to get harder is just by making you die and hopefully getting you to grind enough to be so OP that there's no actual balance. Because with everything being randomly generated, there's no way. Like, you're not walking in with a predetermined deck. You're like always set
Yeah,
kind of skills with that. So it's like that stuff sucks. But you know what I like? I liked the limited deck. I liked the way that instead of deck building, you're kind of subtracting or duplicating and upgrading. I think that's a great way of making things go faster. I like the fact that the four different Tsukuyomis have very different play styles. I think that's really, really cool.
yeah,
And again, it's not done perfectly, but it's enough that it makes me want to then be like, hey, there's a fun game here that you don't even need to make a new game to make this more playable. I think like this game with an editor and a like price cut at least to like $10, no higher than $10. I think there's a at least an okay to recommendable game here to the point where it'd be like, I'm interested in this, but it's like I just know that we're not going to get anything after this. There's not going to be any more DLC. There's not going to be anything fun. This is just going to be a fucking game that just comes out. A couple of weebs like us talk about it for a month, and then no one talks about it again come June. But like, what about you?
yeah. I mean, for me, my like it kind of just goes back to what you were saying and what I was saying before. Like the bones of the game are decent. It's not. It still wouldn't be like groundbreaking. I wouldn't be like, wow, I gotta recommend this to everybody. This is more like I would recommend this to the niche of people who like Slay the Spire type games and also like Kazuma Kaneko, but aren't upset about AI. And when you subtract all of those factors, it's like
Yeah, it's
like four people in the like
we've made the world's most spread out Venn diagram. It's like four circles
yes.
miles apart, and then there's some like weird like little like vagabond people in the middle. Like that's me.
Yeah,
I'm
like
that
New
guy.
Zealand or something. Yeah. And it's I would like for it to have just updates, like kind of like what you were saying, or I just want to see him do a different project that's more in line with what does. Because I remember for the original release when they were talking about the development of the game and what kind of made him choose to make this kind of game, it seemed more like it was Callable that was pushing him to make a game like this. Um, and it wasn't really like his idea to make a card battler. And I think you can kind of see why with the best components of the card battler being the parts that are not necessarily card battler specific. It felt more like they probably had the bones for a card battler and they're like, well, let's do this with Kaneko and it'll be decent, or at least it'll get like his fans to put to buy it.
I have possibly good
That
and bad news for you if you are a fan of this game at its in terms of its bones. For Colipol or Calipol, however it is called, uh, this is at least technically their most proficient game in terms of like how does it
yeah,
run, how does it look, what does it do. So it's like I didn't have any crashes, I didn't have any issues like that happen with it. So it's like okay, that was at least a thing. Um, one little note I wanted to bring up about collabs that I at least want in terms of like, hey, if there was kind of a good takeaway that I'm always surprised again going back to if either maybe they don't want to do it or maybe they just don't have that kind of relationship anymore. I am always shocked that none of these games try to do a collab with each other. Like, why did Caligula
that's
not have a
true.
crossover with Monarch? Why is Monarch not having a crossover with Varlet? Why is Megaro's game not the crossover in Tsukuyomi? Like, why not just do those? Even those seem like such a win in a way less of a legal nightmare in terms of like trying to get like the licensing rights.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially because like they're all small studios relatively. I don't even know why. Like, I think I think they don't realize the novelty of them reuniting is a powerful thing for the fans because the people who like Tadashi Satomi like him more if he's with Koji Okada and Kaneko.
Yes.
Same thing with the people who like, yeah. I think that you're like if they did collaborate in any way, like what you're saying, that would sell. Or if they just made a game together, Like if Call did Tsukuyomi 2 and did get like Okada in to help make it so the game is better than just like decent bones, like I could see it doing well just from the name recognition of them two reuniting.
I was thinking about
I don't know.
I was thinking about also how would I don't know. It almost kind of comes back to the whole like Atlas thing that I find funny. Like, man, I miss when Atlas could have either been small enough or flexible enough that this could have just been something that they even kept in house. Not even the idea of just like having a AI generated like card battling RPG, but like it's kind of a bummer that these companies have just grown and they almost sort of have to, especially with these larger publicly traded companies, that they feel like you either have to be a part of the machine making Persona forever, or you have to leave and do
Mm,
your own thing, or else you'll, or and never the two can be apart. I mean, like, because it almost takes me back to like, do you know who Boca Studios is?
nope.
So they were the original Team Silent. Team Silent, after one, two, and a little bit of four, one, two, three, and a little bit of four, went on to do work at Sony Japan. I know they had a different team. They may have been Team Siren for a while, because then after Team Silent, they did Siren 1 and 2, as well as the PS3 one, and then they did Gravity Rush 1 and 2. After Sony Japan got nuked, they all left and made their own studio, but their whole thing with it was they kept all of that key team. So if you're a diehard
Oh
fan
wow.
like me of Team Silent, like, and have been following them since literally 1999, there are still large key members of that development team still working on stuff now. Like when they came out with Splitterhead, Splitterhead was like a very different game than I think most people probably expected out of them, but it was like, hey, it was cool, it was an interesting twist, and if you liked a lot of the things like that studio is known for in terms of like the soul of a game, it's still 100% there, because they all still stuck together through Konami, Sony, and way more layoffs than they could probably count after all of 25 plus years in development together.
I mean, yeah.
But it's always tough, especially of like comparing to like how would we want this versus not. I think, at least for me, the last thing I'm going to say before we kind of get into questions, and if you have any other thoughts, please lay them out with it, is I do not regret my time playing Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi just makes me feel sad at the game that we got at the end of the day. And the sad thing is, like, I'm playing the best version of Escape Hospital. Like, I'm like, man, if this game makes me feel this sad, I can't imagine how much more miserable I would have been if I played last year. So, like, it's at least like I'm glad they tried. I'm glad they put it out there. I'm glad I tried it, but at the same time, I think I like said this when I was talking to Marsh about it. Is like, this is a game I am 100% interested in covering. This is a game I 1,000% would vote with my wallet and never buy, at least at this price. I think at 25, it is egregiously overpriced, and for the quality, extremely not showing in it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of one of the major components is when you factor in how much it costs, and then especially the like collector's editions, which were super predatory in my opinion, which is probably why there's not a lot of uh hullabaloo about it, because the like it took the entire announcement cycle. Like I think it was like they had announced the mega $1,000 edition, I want to say in January, and it didn't sell out till like the day before the game came out, which makes me think that it didn't actually sell out. If it did it exactly like that, that's kind of weird to me.
Yeah, that's always one of
But
those weird ones, especially because like it's not like it was limited to a couple thousand. It was like limited to like 100.
yeah, it was literally 100, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, like if this is the way that they treat the diehard fans, and then the collector's edition doesn't even come out like when the game comes out, it's kind of like I don't know. I don't like it. So I feel like there's too many components that left a bad taste in like the mouths of the community. For the English speakers, I think it's literally just the AI made people drop off immediately. And for the Japanese community, I don't even like I wouldn't even know what to tell you what made them lose interest because I'm looking at the Tsukuyomi Discord server and it's kind of it's dead. It's they stopped talking like actively because there was almost nearly daily chatter up until July-ish of last year,
Now,
which is not.
I have to ask, will you be brave enough to share this podcast this week in the Discord, or should I be that guy and just join the Discord to share this like a complete shill?
You can share, you can share it if you want.
It'll be like,
I
guys,
mean,
there's a new 2 hour long video talking all about Tsukuyomi. I can't wait. Oh, okay.
it literally is like a dead server at this point because they like privated all the old chats except the Chinese, Japanese, and Korean chats, and I think that's part of what killed it because the most active ones were the Japanese and the English ones, but they like privated them. So I don't know. It's dead. If you post it there, you'll probably get one extra view, but it'll be a really lost Chinese person.
I gotta say, I'm a little surprised because I actually I would say compared to like out of the three, I feel like actually Korea is probably the most pro AI out of China, Japan, and America.
I wouldn't be surprised. The Korean channel, like it was barely made this year, so it was made this year and only two people said anything in it.
Oh man, all right, I would be remiss to forget about this because I literally didn't even know this till I was doing my impressions video, and that was after like 10 hours of playing. I when I started the game, I was like, "Oh my God, there's voiceover for the opening cutscene." I was so shocked. It wasn't anything like special,
Yeah.
but like for the opening cutscene, I couldn't really like tell right away that it was just completely Gen AI video. Were those live action commercials in the mobile version last year?
No. None
Okay,
of that was in the mobile version last year.
that's what I thought,
So
but because it was like delisted, it was harder to confirm and stuff with it. So when I was sharing, because like they have it like a couple of different things that are, by the way, all not in the story, but like basically little like about 4 to 5 minutes of like lore for the building and the
yeah.
Tsukuyomi. Like all of those videos, I watched live for the first time in my thing, and I was like, I went, oh, this looks weird. Is this AI? To then like 10 seconds later being like, oh my God, this is extremely AI. Like to the point like when you would watch like old like Sora videos from like a year ago, like it was so bad, it was
Yeah.
so artifacty, all the voices were terrible, but it was just one of those things like again goes back to like when they were talking about this game and talking about how there was no new generative AI used for it. I'm like, why are you lying? Like if you're already doing it, just lean into it. Like it's not like we're gonna be like, oh, don't worry, they're one of the good ones.
I think they had already saw the writing on the wall from the amount of blowback they got, so they probably just decided we're gonna downplay the AI. I think that they were
I
they were
wonder if that's why
looking
they
at
hid him in
how
the
people
menu.
reacted to it.
Do you think that's why they're hidden in the menu as like a way of like, God, I hope they don't find these? Just be like, please don't find these.
Yeah, actually, I wouldn't be surprised because they're so bad, but they're like a weird kind of bad. They're like in between like the Will Smith eating spaghetti level bad and like when Sora first came out and people were like, "Wow, this is almost not bad."
I gotta say
It like
though,
it's like a
the like clown wearing like the makeup and the conspiracy like Infowars channel vibes with it or whatever, like that like if I went back and like showed you that because like all of those videos, by the way, I 100% guarantee Kazuma Kaneko had no touch over. It was like the look of that, all of those videos almost looked like a completely different universe. It's like, what world do you think these like are from? Like, it is insane.
yeah. Yeah, they're just kind of jarring, and I'm like I did like them as a concept, like as a concept to build the world up, like kind of hyping up this building that's totally not the what is it the it's based on some real. like Indian building, right? If I
Oh
remember
yeah,
correctly,
yeah. I forgot the name of it, but
like
no,
the Burj Khalifa or
yeah,
something.
it is inspired by a real building.
But like I like the idea of hyping it up like with those world building videos, but the fact that they're so poor quality, it's like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I guess.
All right. Any final notes for you before we get into questions? All right. So we will speed run ourselves through some questions and get you out of here so that way you and the cats can eat.
Yeah.
Let's go. We'll save the best for last. We're gonna go Twitter first in no particular order. Um, First Twitter question by Urameshi Trev. $25 for Slay the Spire clone, which is 90% generated art, seems like way too much. At what price point would you say this should be sold at? And also he says no cheating. You can't say free. Like I said, I think $10. There's a world where you could get bang for your buck in terms of playing this and not feel like you're getting gypped off compared to everything else on the market. What about you?
Even $10 is kind of a lot. I feel like around 7 to 10. 10 is like really, it's really asking for a lot for what it is. Even without the AI part, if this game was exactly what it is now, but with all original art, $10 is still a big ask because it's so simple, and it's not particularly like, it's really a game that once you beat it, you'll never play it again and not even ever think about it or anything. Like it has like nothing about it that's particularly memorable if you take out the AI. So I'm like $5 to $7.
We need
It really feels like a mobile game
You
though.
know what this
It
needs to
feels like a
be?
game that,
This needed to be like
yeah.
a PS Plus game or like the free game of the month on Epic. Like that's the you can't say free but like included with subscription service.
No, this even with the upgrades, it still feels like a mobile game to me. But it specifically feels like a mobile game that has like a stamina system where it purposely makes the game really hard so you die a bunch, and then you have to either spend money to get more gems so you can keep running the dungeon, or you have to wait like 30 minutes to have one more chance to run the dungeon again. That's the kind of game it feels like. If which makes a lot of sense when you look at the other Call games. Like,
Did you see the DLC demons by the way? I want you to know A, I think charging $8 for 5 demons is fucking abysmal, but also B, I think all the designs on the demons look terrible.
what are the AI? I mean, the DLC demons are not just like Dante in them,
No,
or is
the
it something
DLC.
else?
Well, so Dante is in the game. So all the DMC 5 stuff is in the base game. There's no download needed for it. The day one DLC, there were 5 demons for it. So I'll pull it up and uh
Wait,
remind
did I
myself what
was it the ones that I posted? The redraws?
No, those should not have been that, but I'm gonna pull it up here just to double check. God, Tsukuyomi is just such a long word to spell. I gotta say. By the way, very much nitpicking. Not a good name. Like even it kind of makes sense for the game itself. Not a and especially now that the game's official title is now Kazuma Kaneko Tsukuyomi. Man, that's not a good name. Like really, just not a good name at all.
Yeah, even the original Divine Hunters or whatever. It's because, yeah, it's just not a good name. Tsukiyomi as a deity is interesting, I guess, and I guess because of the story, yeah, it makes sense. They should have just called it something else. Even just
Oh,
calling it like,
you did send them. I hadn't scrolled down and seen all the way. No, yeah, you're right. The ones you had sent were there. Yeah, it's the defined or not, is it the no refined
yeah, the AI
archetypes.
generated.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah,
Shiva, Hathor, Nephthys, Orcus, and Khonsu, and it's like every one of them. I'm like maybe give or take Khonsu. Like every one of them, I'm just like they're so busy. Like they're so much
yeah.
busier than they have to be. It's like I don't like looking at any of you, let alone paying $8 for 5 demons.
Yeah, I mean, what? I mean, the reason why they're so busy is because of the AI. Like, literally, if they didn't use, if they weren't built off of the AI slop, kind of just like adding a bunch of extra like details that are so unnecessary, I feel like I feel like they would be decent-ish designs, but they're still pretty awful. Like there's not really a redeeming quality. But I mean, as a concept, it's kind of cool if you play the original, which I think that's what they were banking on. I think they were banking on like attention going towards it because of the original. But I'm looking at the reactions of all the announcement posts, and like at best they're getting around 100 or so engagements with each announcement, which is like that's pretty abysmal for a game they're trying to sell. Or I guess it was free at the time, but still.
Yeah, when I will say
Um,
when we got the review codes, there was a tiny part of me that was like, there's they had to have done it on purpose to give everybody the like they did the opposite of the Atlus thing where instead of like giving the DLC to all the reviewers, they're like, no, no, no. If you like our game, you'll buy the DLC. We don't need to give it to you.
it's super weird because I mean I wouldn't want it anyway, to be honest. If I'm completely honest, I'm 100% good with never getting it, but it's just weird how they withhold it. I'm trying to see if I can find the like the original art that they were based on, because I know that it was like sometime early last year where they did the redraws,
I
but I
was
think
gonna
they just
say
deleted all of.
I think they're still on their YouTube channel. You should still be able to find them from their past live streams,
Yeah, but it looks like they cleaned up the actual the
like
what do you
socials
call it?
account.
The Discord server. The Discord server. It's like they looks like they cleaned it up because it's not there anymore.
Got to be like
But
release the uncensored Tsukuyomi files. We need to know how much worse could they have looked.
a pretty worse. Because the I remember seeing them because they would do like a they would tag everybody when they would start working on the thing and be like, oh yeah, look at our thing. But I don't know. I think I feel like set $5-7 to go back to the original question.
I was gonna say you had a lot.
five to seven
You had a
dollars.
lot more. You had a lot more to say on the price question than I thought. We were like, it was only. I bet it was only because you weren't allowed to say $0. Like, well, damn, you stole my answer.
Yeah, I would have said zero because it just doesn't warrant that much money or any money really. But
We at least did kill two birds with one stone because the next question was about the DLC. Buffy Bub did ask about will there be more DLC or expansions. Allegedly, there are more of those like demons that they've done, so they could do it. I think it's going to be one of those ones where outside of seeing sales or whether like how many of them were already done, it's hard to say because like we said, this game very much felt like it was coming in hot. Suma had a question. Says, "What do you guys think will be done?" Oh, sorry. What do you guys think will be the bone Atlus throws us for the Persona 30th anniversary? Persona 1 remaster, Persona Q remaster. God, you're shooting so high. You gotta lower those standards, bud. Persona Q remaster to go along with the remakes, unless you think P4R will be the only thing this year. I'll let you go first.
I mean, it's definitely the only thing. If we get P4 at all, because we already know enough about the development documents to know that there's only two things that they're working on, like for Persona related stuff anyway. Persona 4 and Persona 6. So we're getting Persona 4 maybe late this year, early next year. I don't think we're getting anything else for Persona. I think that we might get more Persona events, like not like crazy big ones, but like, oh, we're collaborating with this random bakery in Los Angeles. It's gonna most likely just be stuff like that. I feel like is gonna be the bone that we get tossed. They're being over eager by assuming we do more than that or get more than that.
I think there's a chance that an underwhelming release is your big release this year, and that ironically there's like a chance because like again I've been saying this prediction since literally the 25th anniversary edition, but it's like don't think HD remaster, definitely don't think remake, but I'm like man, and this is not going back into the merchandise thing because I've been saying this since well before P2 started getting T-shirts, like
Mhm.
it just is too easy not to do it. So it's always like they have to. I mean, they don't have to because they've been really good at not doing it. But it's like, man, the easiest win possible has to be just suck it up and do a Revelations collection for one and both P2 games. Like it would
Yeah,
would
which
would it be gangbusters? No. Would it be enough? Because
no.
but at least you could then be like, we released 3 classic games for the 30th anniversary on the 30th anniversary year. It would be more than enough to hold people over till whenever Revival comes out in like probably February.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that release is like it's on the table, if only because like we've all pointed out the way that they named it on Amazon and stuff almost implies like it's based on something that's coming because
I
that.
will say I did make fun of that merch people before. The fact that that Atlus changed the name to remove it, it did give it a little bit of a Streisand effect in my opinion.
Oh, I didn't even know they removed it, but that to me that just gives more credence to the conspiracy.
So yeah, I hope something happens soon. If I had to be a betting man, I think I don't think you do both announcements at at the same show. Although I guess maybe you could. I mean, they've done doubled up the announcements for Xbox before, so
It also appeals to different peoples. We have to remember, like the
oh,
Persona
for
1, 2
sure.
fans are, yeah.
It's yeah,
So I don't.
it's tough. I will say, I think save a miracle of happening, there is no way. Man, I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but it's actually got to be true. Well, hold on, because the 25th anniversary was in 2021, right? Yes.
Yeah,
The 25th anniversary was in 2021, and the biggest game we got that year was Ultimax. We got Ultimax, Soul
but
Hackers.
we gotta remember COVID though.
No, no,
COVID,
no,
I feel
no,
like
for sure. But then I remember, but I'm at
yeah.
least remember because the final announcement was for Persona 3, 4, and 5 coming out eventually, but those didn't happen until 2022 and then 2023. P5R was first at 2022.
No,
So
we also got uh for 20. We also got so we got Ultimax. It wasn't Tactica was the other one, and then
no,
P3.
Tactica was after the anniversary. It was supposed to be
No,
part
yeah,
of the anniversary, but
about them.
it wasn't announced till 2023.
No, yeah, they extended the celebration. This is
Oh,
this
all
is like
right.
a
What
weird.
did that? Wait, again. So by my standards of like, let's just look at the anniversary year proper.
Oh well, that's
Exactly.
different. We
So
if
like,
you're doing it by that, then yes.
if we're just looking at the anniversary year proper, the real question is this: what is the chance that 2021 beats 2026? And has a better release. Like here, like the question for you, because I'm very biased. I would obviously say Ultimax was a great re-release, even though it was super bare bones. Is there a
Hmm.
chance that they disappoint people more than just doing Ultimax last time?
I like the Persona 25th anniversary, which is probably why I'm so passionate about it. Like that, it was like the video that I was working on actually that got messed up was my anniversaries video, which is why I was like fighting it because they announced the Persona anniversary in like 2020, then in 2021 it started, and then it like extended ridiculously
They
to
fucking treated it
2022.
like the year of Luigi. They milked it for like 2.5
Yeah,
years.
yeah, it literally ended 2022 is technically the end of the anniversary, and like if you read the little P Super Live book thing, it talks about how basically all COVID delayed everything, which is why I was like, oh, Tactica is technically the thing. But I think it would easily beat it if they announced Persona 1 2 to get to the meat and bones. If they just even if they did announce Persona 4, if they just announced Persona 1 and 2 ports or whatever, I think that would be just a better announcement than Ultimax. I love Ultimax, but it's so niche. It's like if they announced for Persona Anniversary, if the only thing they announced was like one of the mobile games, I feel like that's kind of what Ultimax was to people. The people who love it would love it, and that's it. Like versus Persona 1 and 2, even though it appeals mostly to just the old heads, it would get like a couple of Persona 5 Royal people to play it for 5 seconds and be like, man, this sucks.
Oh my god, can you imagine the like YouTube or Twitch, or not even Twitch, like the Twitter clips that will come out of new Sona fans playing like the Revelations games? Just be
I would love it. I mean,
it'll be great.
I kind of sorry, go ahead.
It will be great, but I will say, because when you were talking, I did realize this does not count. This is like the inverse of Tactica, whereas Tactica was so late it shouldn't count. There is one game that technically did come out in the anniversary year that shouldn't count, but did technically come out and will make it infinitely better than anything that comes out this year. I forgot because of how COVID or whatever release timing Atlus wanted to blame at the time. Remember, we technically got Persona 5 Strikers in 2021 for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah,
And ain't
yeah.
no way we're getting anything better than Strikers. I think we all as a society can agree on that.
I mean, depends on what you mean by society.
More like in the Joker,
I,
Batman kind of level society, not like the real society we live in.
I mean, I'll be honest. Strikers and Tactical, but mostly Strikers is a game where I'm like, it sucks that it didn't get as much like fanfare. Like there was not as nearly as much of a noise or anything around it, despite how competent of a game it is. Like not just within its genre, but as a Persona title. So it's kind of upsetting. Like that upset me a little bit. So I am a little salty about the way that game was received in the West. Like you don't even see people cosplaying anybody from those games or from that game. I mean,
But when you see a Zenkichi in the real world, you know they're a real one.
yeah, exactly.
Next question we've got our Soul Bluesky question. Remember, everybody, Bluesky allegedly still exists. By the Phantom Pyromancer. Says, question for the Megaten Network. What is the first Megaten game you ever played? Spinoffs are welcome. So I'll let you pick in whatever way you want to take that question, because obviously everything counts and not everything counts, especially for Western
Mhm.
Megaten named stuff. Do you remember what your first one was, though?
Oh, I know my first one was SMT3 Nocturne. That was my first game. I remember being like, wow, this because the way that it was marketed to me was my friend who gave me the PS. Remember when you would have friends who would just give you a game to borrow? That's what happened. Like my
Bro,
friend was like,
you
oh,
could have just stopped it. You
you
remember when you had friends, and I already would have been like, I don't even know what are we talking about.
like I can't relate. No, but like he was just like, oh, this game is like Pokemon, but it's like emo. And I'm like, oh, okay. Which it ended up
Dude,
I feel like that's the most
people
apt.
had to be there. By the way, that legitimately was how early Atlus games were sold. Like Nocturne and Persona 3 were 100% just Pokemon for emo kids.
Yeah, especially Persona 3. I remember the fanfare around how emo it is. I remember they're like, oh, they even kill themselves. So emo. But anyway, that's how they got me into Nocturne, and then from then on, I think I went Digital Devil Saga, and then I thought Persona 3 was a sequel to Nocturne
I mean, it had 3 in the title. It might
because I
as
was like,
well have
why?
been.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, if Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is the third one, and this is Shin Megami Tensei Persona 3, that means that this is the sequel to
Oh
this
my
one,
god,
but
dude!
it's
I was
just like,
imagining, dude. Imagine you have like the most cursed trilogy. Because remember, it was just called Nocturne, not SMT3. This was like
oh
your,
yeah, you're right.
this was your headcanon. SMT1 is Nocturne. SMT2 is DDS. That's why there's two of them, because it's a duology. And then SMT3 is Persona 3.
It works. It works.
That's like if a Nightmare Blunt rotation was a video game, it's those three. Like, imagine me like trying to convince him and be like,
Yeah,
no, 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 they're all connected. They're all real. Jack Frost is in them. I swear.
yeah, he's in all three or all four games, but three. But I actually did think that Persona 3 was I thought Persona 3 protagonist Minato, I thought he was Demi. I was like, that's why he gets sealed.
Damn, bro, it's the prequel. It's the prequel before the
Yes,
tattoo.
that's why he's punished because he. No, but that was me. I don't know
Man,
about you. What was your first game? I feel like your game was something crazy.
no, dude, I'm boring. My first one was Revelation. So like, if I had to say first, it has to be P1. But first Mega 10, because I was not early to playing Nocturne. I don't know why. I think
Uh-huh.
the first game I would have played that had Shin Megami Tensei in the title, I don't know why, because I have memories of playing DDS, but like it were so close to P3, I almost feel like they're interchangeable. So I'm probably like right there
Mm.
with you, because I know I didn't play Jack Bros till many years later, and I had not even touched any of the last Bible games or anything like that. I will say this is how you know you're like, I don't know, like whatever, like old, like uncoded or whatever, like the kids would say. I was watching like a YouTube video of these people game collecting in Phoenix, and they were at a booth that had a bunch of they had almost every CIB Demi kids, like the Japanese ones from Game Boy Color all the way to
Yeah.
GBA. I wanted, I wanted, I didn't want to comment. I wanted to jump into the screen to correct them on the spot because they didn't know what games they were looking at. They just knew it was Atlus, and they know the GBA games are Demi Kids, and since they saw the GBC games, they're like, "Oh, this is Last Bible. That's why this is what their Last Bible looked like." I was like, "No." It's like, no, you don't understand. Demi Kid's white. You don't get it.
Oh, I mean, Demi Kid's white, good.
It is.
That's the one with the little boxing kid.
It is. Yeah, it was one of those ones. But then I had to remind myself. I'm like, Spencer, you have to know. Even if you were there, even if I was at that booth with them in the moment during the recording, they'd be like, "Bro, we don't care." I'm gonna tell you right now, we don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, but next question. Get a little bit less spice here. We got some YouTube questions since we're talking about YouTube comments. Uh, Once again, I always appreciate your comments, and I always apologize because I always feel like I absolutely butcher your name. Abdirahman said, since you're both getting called out here back to back, since you are both old heads, what is some obscure Atlas developed slash published titles that you think are very underappreciated? They used to publish a lot of B tier JRPGs back in the day. I personally am thinking about playing Stella Dew, because it is really great, thanks to that Tsujima art. Stella Dew, by the way, super underrated PS2 game.
Yep.
What about you? What's it? And this does for this one. I'll say as long as it was Atlas published, doesn't have to be Atlas developed one. What would be one you an Atlas gem you want to give some love to that doesn't get enough?
This jam. There's only one game that really comes to mind. Is this little title that came out on the GameCube. It's ridiculously expensive now. Uh, and also it was designed with the studio behind Ren and Stimpy. It's called Go Hyper Grind. It's not the most competent, like, like I guess you call it a skateboard game,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was
so
of the era.
quirky and unusual. And it's the what makes it the most unique to me is that not only is it weird for all the things I just mentioned, but it was developed with Atlas. It was developed for Atlas's Western audience, so it never got a Japanese release. It just got the Western release, and it didn't do good. So it never got a Japanese release because of that. But I do know that the artists behind the game archived a bunch of the stuff that they did, the design materials, and they sent it to some museum in like California that archives stuff apparently. That game is crazy. It's actually like pretty fun. It's just super expensive. I think you can get a copy for like $100 or $200 now.
Oh,
It used to be
I'm gonna look
cheaper.
it up. It's way more expensive than that. But let's see. So
Oh, never
CIB
mind.
CIB Go Hypergrind $400 right now. Loose is 200. Disc only is $200.
Okay, so that shows you how long I've been paying attention. I stopped paying attention like maybe 6 years ago. So, pre-collector like super hype, it used to be a lot cheaper.
Well, I mean, even back in
But
the day, like it was kind of up there similar with another Atlas game, Cubivore. It's like, man, Atlas games, especially
yep.
GameCube ones, were always the most sought after in terms of collecting. I actually thought you were gonna say Cubivore for a second, but yeah, I think I think the development story behind Go Go Hyper Grind is a lot cooler. Thanks for ruining it, John K.
Yep. But that's kind of what makes it the most interesting to me is that they're really outside of the stuff that we just talked about, there's no interviews, there's no like press material or anything. It's just it's the thing that exists. And if there is any of that stuff, it is super, super lost to time because I've tried really hard to find anything about it. But yeah.
For
What
me, I would say, man, there's a lot of good ones. I have to always think of the ones I don't say all the time. I'm gonna say one that I know I've said before, but I've been thinking about it a lot recently because I want to go back to it. Lost Dimensions. I always give a big shout out to. That was that
oh
weird
yeah.
era of Atlus releasing PS3 and Vita games in a post PS4 world, aka
Yep.
sending games out to die. It is literally just Valkyria Chronicles meets Danganronpa, but it is always a different murderer every time. It's super awesome, and the PC version was actually made by the publisher of Lucifer's Call, so that's always like a fun little weird throwback.
Oh. I mean, I have the Vita game, I just never played it.
It's so good. And it's
But
not
I
that long
the
too. It's really replayable.
and the funniest thing about it is that we were talking about Etrian before we started streaming, or did we talk about it while streaming?
Oh yeah, we were
It's
talking about it.
developed by the Etrian people.
Yeah.
It was developed by the Etrian team, which is another weird wrinkle in everything. I love how connected this game is to everybody Atlas related.
That was almost one of the weirdest
But
things about it not being published by Atlus in Japan. Like when it came out here, it felt like such a Atlus coded game at launch. It was funny to think that it was originally a Fudio game.
oh yeah, but good game. Well,
Uh,
good game by the looks of it. I just have it. I've never played it.
Let me see. But no, besides that one, one that I never give enough shout outs to, I was just thinking about. Uh, I almost want to replay it just for the music alone. Man, I've been weirdly itching playing Radiant Historia because I played it on
Oh,
DS.
that's a good game.
But you know what's funny? It's one of
Yeah.
those weird ones. I never played the 3DS one. I just like somehow like missed it. It was kind of a later era 3DS game, and I wasn't ever like in the need for playing it.
Hmm.
And it was like I don't know if it was like maybe it was like pre or post getting burned by Strange Journey Redux, but I was like I don't need remade like games for it again. But like it's been so many years since I've played Radiant Historia, I've been kind of like itching for it again.
I could understand it. Radiant Historia is good. I'd actually never played the 3DS one either. It's something that I just bought and I just was like, oh, I guess I'll keep it sealed.
Next
So,
question we've got is by Hey 1426. Are you surprised that Atlas has done one of the? Are you surprised Atlas hasn't done one of these cheap roguelike games? Doesn't have to be with cards. Anything similar like Vampire Survivors or Hades. And I was thinking about this. Was like honestly, it's kind of funny because you look at something like especially the dungeon design in like Tartarus and Mementos, and it's like man, there's such an easy loop for something like a Persona roguelike dungeon crawler, and they've never done it. It's so
yeah.
weird.
Well, we are past that stage of Atlas where they were really interested in experimenting because all the people that were interested in experimenting don't work there anymore. So it's not surprising to me that we haven't gotten any of that stuff anymore. It's just like sad because it's such an easy opportunity for, you know, something that people would just play and they could actually make money on for a while if it was like a handheld game or something or a mobile game.
Here's a weird one, and these ones kind of go together with it. We talked about both earlier, but I'd be curious to hear a little bit more your opinion on it. First one's by Deep Weeb. Do you think Kaneko has much of a future left in this industry, or is it downhill from here? If you had to guess.
Based on the way he talked about this game, I feel like he still wants to work. So I think it's going to be kind of like Suzuki and all the other old heads where they're out to pasture more or less, but they're still going to be making games. So that's kind of where I see Kaneko from here on.
And then other one,
Yeah.
Milk Boy says, How do you feel about AI usage in general, despite Kaneko's art being used for this? Like, I know, like I've talked about it on the show with it, but I forget like how outspoken you are for it, Larry. Like, how have you been? Especially, obviously, it's not like a flat one note thing. Like the topic of AI, love it or hate it, I know especially multiple people like really, really dislike it. It's obviously not a thing that's immediately going away for it, and everyone's opinions on it are. I feel like the correct take shouldn't just be all AI bad, all AI good. I feel like it's a nuanced discussion point. Like, how do you feel about generative AI yourself?
So for for the most part, I don't like it. It's like a hard no, mostly because of all the stated obvious things. Like it. Do I want the Chat GPT to use the 3 bottles of water, or do I want to chug my own 3 bottles of water, kind of thing? There's all those other like ethical components that I don't like about it. I also feel like AI could be better used for the non-creative components of game development or the non-creative components of labor in general. And that's my biggest complaint about it, is that instead of thinking, oh, how could we use AI to make it so we have more time to do art? They're like, oh, how can we use AI so we don't have to make art anymore? And that's the part that I don't like about it the most, like outside of all the ethical components, which is the main reason I don't like AI. Like you have all these data centers being built in like poor neighborhoods essentially. Like at least I don't know if you're aware, but in like California, they're trying to build like 6 data centers, and they're all in like the areas that poor people live in, and they're all trying to get California to pay for it instead of the companies that are going to use them. So it's like stuff like that makes me hate AI. Um, the nuance of it could be that yeah, they could figure out ways to use AI that wouldn't make it so we have all this like trash art, all this trash media in general. Um, because it looks bad. It's kind of like how a lot of CG when a movie is too CG heavy or computer graphics heavy or whatever, it looks weird and ugly. Versus if it just had all practical effects, I feel like it's just another logical separation from that authenticity or that like aesthetic that looks more pleasing. I've never seen an AI thing so far. I've never seen one that I'm like, oh wow, I really like that. I've always had like, why does this look awkward? Why does it look weird? And maybe we'll get to the point where it tricks me, but so far not.
Well, and that's the thing too,
Yeah,
especially with it of like, I think like people are always like, oh well, I'm sure it'll trick me eventually. No one's ever like, oh well, I'm sure it will get good eventually. It's that thing of like we're almost like predetermined to like we know it's not going to be easy just to get snap our fingers and get rid of it. And it's like we're ready to accept a world where we're just constantly having it shoved in our face, so we might let one slip by the goalie rather than accept and be like, oh well, this is fine. Like I'm at the point where like anytime I hear an ad, whether it be audio, visual, whatever, like even if it's just the voices that like you can always tell the like generic AI voiceover, it instantly just makes me
yeah.
fucking turn into Ron Swanson. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it every time.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel that deeply. For me, it's just like, can we use AI for something else? There's too much, especially because the other component of it is that I see AI being used, like in my job, people use AI to help write these really personal internal documents that are not supposed to be publicly available, but they're like willingly allowing things like Chat GPT to edit and format these documents, and I'm like, like that's like not ethical. I don't think it's even legal, or it's not legal, or it's not illegal yet. But I'm pretty sure it's the kind of thing that'll become illegal. It and the people that I notice that are super reliant on AI currently are kind of just like, no offense, they're kind of just like dumber.
Oh
Like
yeah, it's like
it's weird to
it's
explain.
like even the smartest of the AI like fucking knuckle draggers out there is like no amount of Lex Friedman interviews in my life have I ever heard where I go like, oh yeah, these guys really know what they're doing. Like even people I really
Yeah.
enjoy like listening to and stuff where I still immensely disagree on almost all their stuff. Like the only one I kind of give any real credence, and it's just more because of the person and I know like what they're using with it isn't like bad, is I look at stuff like when David Jaffe talks about it, like the game designer, and I think he has a very interesting
Okay.
perspective from the way he uses AI to his for his YouTube channel versus stuff like how it would aid game development more than how can I do it for uh like tricking someone into thinking I made this sort of like being very forward about I'm using it for this reason, and kind of having that discussion. And even though I still always disagree with him and would rather have stuff done by real people, he's at least kind of someone where I appreciate hearing where his thought process is behind it, just because I've followed
Uh,
his career as a director for so long where I'm like, oh, okay, it's like that. It's like that thing of you ever just listen to a TED talk that you vehemently disagree with, but you're like, you know what? I'm here. I'm gonna listen to it. It's like that.
no, no, but I'll take your word for it. My thing about it is, I would just want if like piggybacking off what you're saying, if there was someone who was figuring out a way to use AI in a way that wasn't, yeah, like you're saying, like a trick, and instead it was like, oh, what I do is I run my art through. I mean, I train this AI by my art alone, and then after I generate the AI, I take that thing and I finish it myself. So like, there's nothing like that. It's never anything like that. It's always like, oh, my name, like I just really like Kaneko, so I just took Kaneko and Elsa from from Frozen because I like her too, and I just made a game. Like it's like that always. So I feel like if it gets ever to the part of authorship, how do you say it?
Oh,
Authorship.
authorship.
No, like where it's like the artsy author.
Oh
I feel like it's
yes,
auteur.
auteur. Yeah.
Yeah, if it ever gets to that part where it's like actually, like I'm trying to actually utilize this in a way that's making it art instead of that's tricking you into thinking I made the art, like what you're saying. I feel like that would make it a lot more palatable for me. But even then, I still would be like, man, unless they let China continue to develop like AI that's more efficient or something, like, I don't really know. The energy part is my main thing. The energy and the water waste.
We've got two more questions, and then I'm about to fucking turn myself into water waste. From the Facebook group, we've got Glenn Ray Brooks says, I feel like this is a game I would just definitely pirate because I ain't even spending money on AI slop. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I think this might even be the most damning thing about playing it. Not saying that you should ever pirate or anything like that for it. This is one of those games that like I would even just tell you like no matter how much free time you have, and if it was already on your Switch, I'm like, there's others. No matter what you're into, this isn't even worth pirating. Like it's not worth using the electricity for that. Like if this is a game that you look at and are like, this looks like AI slop, I do not even want to imagine paying for this. It's not even worth your time. Your time is almost more valuable than that $25.
Yeah, I would just play Slay the Spire, and if anything, make a Slay the Spire mod where you add conical art, and then then you get a much more in depth game that it's the same essentially. I don't know,
Imagine the
like
most cursed mod pack where someone brings the art from Tsukuyomi into Slay the Spire.
I heard you like conical art. Here's the not conical art.
Oh my god. And
No, yeah,
oh yeah.
I wouldn't pirate it. Is my takeaway. I wouldn't pirate it.
Uh
Not because of ethical things, but because it's not worth it.
Final question by Zikri Iki Raingriffer says a question that I'm gonna slightly twist. So they are not completely turned off on this game with the AI ness of it, but one of the things I was curious about was what is the chance you think that we see this game on PS5 and at the very least PC? Because I will say I'm not shocked it didn't launch on PS5. I was very shocked it didn't launch. I was very shocked it didn't launch at all on PC. Because I'm like, you already launched it free to play on PC. Why was this not just on both?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't really understand that. I feel like if it was released on Steam, it would be better. But I also think that part of why they did it the way they did it is to reduce the amount of people digging into the files, because in the original release that happened immediately and it caused a lot of like stir. That like literally all the initial articles and stuff was about how the AI had a bunch of, you know, Elsa, Spider-Man, Superman, um and Shin Megami Tensei stuff in it. So I feel like they were trying to avoid that, or maybe it's just cheaper to only make it on the Switch. I don't know.
Well, it's definitely not cheaper than Steam.
Oh, okay.
Steam is one of those things where it's like, I mean, listen, you look so many fucking things coming out all the time. Um,
Hmm.
I think it's them trying to phase their rollout of the game, and they're starting with the most popular platform in Japan altogether. But again, it's like
Yeah, that could be it too.
I looked at I looked at the eShop charts in every nation when this game came out. It never charted in the top 20 like once. It's like I would be shocked if this made even $10,000 legitimately.
It made that from the 100 people that bought the collector's
No,
edition.
that's true. Okay, but I mean, they've got to wait at least till June till they cash that check. So at least they're like, hold out till
Yeah.
June, everybody, hold out till June. Oh my God. On that fun and depressing note, we're gonna wrap up so that way we don't turn this into a 9,000 hour long episode. But hey, Larrue, at least we didn't do like 30 minutes on Tsukuyomi and an hour and a half on Persona fan meetups that aren't happening.
Yeah, good for that.
But for everyone out there who would like more of this, do you got anything in the? I mean, obviously it's you. You always have at least 13 things in the Adobe Creative Suite cooking. But what do you have coming up? Anything soon? Is the Tsukiyomi video is it a Bermuda Triangle myth? Will it actually come out one day? What do you have cooking that you want to promote to everybody?
My Tsukuyomi video is probably the most likely to come out because they gave me the code and they told me to do it. I just haven't done it. It's just that it's mostly negative. That's the only reason why I don't want to release it. So, but that would have probably come out in the next couple weeks. I started editing a Etrian Odyssey video, but then I decided to put that on the back burner because I found more stuff. Like I found the actual art book and stuff. So I'm waiting for that to come from Japan, and then I'm gonna actually finish that. So after Tsukiyomi, I'm gonna just it's gonna be full working on the Persona 3 documentary because I want to release that on the anniversary of Persona 3, but it's probably not gonna happen because like Wooey, like the game came out in July, and it's a 3 hour video. Like I did like a dummy recording just to see how long it would take me to record all the audio, and it was like 3 hours.
Damn.
So I don't think I. Sorry, what?
Oh, I said damn.
Yeah, it's because it's really detailed, and I decided to actually I decided to not just do like straight facts. I also started to do a little bit of interpretation of things, and I think that expanded the video length by a lot. So it's probably gonna come out in August instead of July, because August is like the American anniversary, like the 29th anniversary, I guess, or not 29th, the 19th, I think, because the 20 year anniversary is July, but it'll come out this year. It's the next big video. So
You
yeah,
still have time.
that'll be the next thing, I
You
guess.
still have time. Just comment or send an email to Anime Expo and see if you can make a panel. Just be them premiering your video as the panel.
I mean, what's more likely than a new Larue video is a new podcast, as SMTN podcast featuring Larue
Man,
at this point.
I mean, hey,
Yep.
never say never, but also probably not anytime soon. Although, one last very squeezing it in news bit I completely forgot about. Did you see that another Persona card game is coming out from that like Chinese card publisher?
I did see that, and I was confused by it. But I'm excited. I don't know.
I I
I'm not gonna play it, but I'm just happy that it's
I
happening. I
am
guess.
mostly curious because it's more of a CCG. It's not like a TCG. It's just like collecting cool art and stuff. I think it's just interesting because
Yeah.
I'm like, there's actually a chance that this could come out in English because this company does like they have like licenses from like Naruto and My Little Pony and stuff. They do. They have pretty good like print quality and stuff for it, and the fact that it's like another one where they would have like printed card signatures, I'm always kind of a sucker for. So it's kind of interesting where it's when I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this, but also, do I need more cardboard crap in my life? Not at all.
I mean, that kind of you kind of made me remember that there was this like weird announcement in like 2023. Do you remember, or does this ring a bell, Pandasaurus? Does that ring a bell at all?
It does. I'm trying to remember what did they announce or what were they teasing?
They teased the Persona 5 card game in 2023, and they said that it was going to come out in 2023, and then it never did.
Sounds like something that was going to be a Kickstarter and then absolutely blew up in their face. By the way, shout out to the tabletop RPG. Fucking good luck on that one. I don't know how long that's going to come. Man, you weren't kidding. Pandasaurus Persona 5 Royal card game coming Q4 2023. Any day now, guys. Any day now.
Yep. There's a comment on that page that's like, it's so sad to come back to this and see there's no updates.
Man, this is wild. Is this company even like still around?
The website looks very abandoned, but stranger things have happened, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things of like you gotta imagine like Atlus fucking Atlus just fucking licenses anything to anybody at this point. Like I'm sure if you and me did a GoFundMe, we could get enough money for a very bad looking Morgana T-shirt.
That's true.
All right, before we get you out of here, because I've been having I've been having a trivia itch recently. I figured we'd end today's episode with an easy and a hard trivia question for you. You ready?
Uh-huh.
All right, who published Persona 4 Golden in Europe?
Jonah Golden. Was that Rice Digital?
No. Well, they were a
Oh,
distributor of like I think a special edition. They were not the publisher though. Shout out to Rice Digital though. I don't even know if they're in business anymore. I forgot about that company.
I'm trying to think. Is it Square Enix? Or they only did
They
the
did yeah, they
PS2
did
one, huh?
PS2.
Then I don't know.
Dang,
Then
man, I
dang,
thought I was
oh, I
giving
guess
you
I
an
don't know.
easy one. NIS Europe.
NIS Europe. That's crazy. That's funny actually. Now I gotta buy the European Persona 4 Golden.
Man, all right. Then I'll give you a redemption one. Do you remember who was the European publisher of Catherine? OG Catherine.
OG Catherine.
I'll, I'll give you a hint. They are still
It's not
around as
Ghostlight.
part of the no, they are still around as part of the Embracer group.
Deep Silver.
Yes.
Okay, because they did a couple of Alice games, didn't they?
Yeah, no, they did a handful. They were actually the distributor of P5. They made a shit ton of money from that game.
Yeah. See, I was wondering what. It's because I know that they're a part of PlayOn or whatever. Play Ion, or I don't know how to pronounce that.
Listen, if they wanted us
But
to pronounce it right, they would have spelled it right to begin with.
true. Thank you for the redemption trivia, because
You're
I was
good.
like, oh man, I
That
didn't know
wasn't
this.
even the hard question. I was like, oh, he's gonna slam dunk this one. This will be a good one. All right, then the hard question. This is your
Yeah.
chance to publicly admit this to us because I know you would not be brave enough to tweet this yourself. Larrue, did you pre-order
What is,
the new Persona 30th anniversary Funko Pops?
uh, I declined to state.
No, that's a yes. That means that's a man who ordered two wonders, one to keep sealed and one to keep out of the box.
You know what? Let me show you the email because it's funnier. I pre-ordered. I only pre-ordered two. I only pre-ordered two of the series. I pre-ordered two Igors and two Wonders.
They knew what
So
they were doing when they made them Funko online exclusive. They were like, we know nobody's buying this in brick and mortar.
yeah.
I will say,
And they got me
I
because
think the Wonder one. would be easier to ignore. The tricky part is Igor is such a wild pull that it's gonna pull in the people like you and me to be like, well, now I have to order him.
I actually love how it actually looks like Igor, which is
Oh yeah,
like
the eyes actually
which is
look
not
good.
really, yeah. So it worked for me. I'm like, I think the Igor is like second to probably only Morgana. Like the Morgana Funko is actually decent too. Like as much as I hate, I really really hate Funko unless you choose to sponsor me.
Well, we did. Well, we did. I was gonna say we were supposed to do a sponsored ad break, but our sponsor fell through this week. We were sponsored by Spirit Airlines.
Oh, I really fell out of the sky more like. But I might get the other ones. But there's like four other ones that I can just get anywhere, right?
No, there's only three. Oh wait, you're right. There are four because I forgot FEMC and MC. Yeah, I will say
Yeah.
I was actually already gonna get the P3 through 5 just because I really like the 30th anniversary branding. And I will say, especially as someone who has
Uh-huh.
seen all of the original P5 ones, these look infinitely better. All the P5 ones I thought always looked hideous. I think
Yeah, they look really bad.
these ones look much better. And I was even like when I got the Metaphor one, I was like, honestly, these look good. Like to the point where like I'm probably also all in for all of the Metaphor ones. I was like, if I don't buy these, I'm practically begging for them to not sell Basilio, and I need anything for more Basilio merch in my life.
Yeah, we all got to do our part for Basilio.
All right. Well, speaking of doing our part, we got to get the fuck out of here and make more bad financial decisions.
True.
But thank you for sending me over your Funko receipt. I will be slandering you as soon as we're done here on Twitter and letting everyone know that you are a filthy
Fraud,
a fraud, late stage capitalist lover, as I'm sure no one will be shocked
unfortunately.
about. But yes,
Yep.
everybody, if you enjoy helping fuel poor financial decisions, you can go to patreon.com/SMTN. You can get the show early at the dollar and up tier. $5 and up tier gets you a shout out for being an executive producer. Thank you to all of our lovely, beautiful, handsome executive producers like Aaron McNamara, Twist, John Massey, Jesus Coon, Crazy Sloth, Michael Wilson, Budweiser Tall Cans, Carlos Hernandez, Cross Renren, Winnie Jagingas, Gorosero, Solaire, Stephen Yip, Patrick Dishart, and Robert Dogman Magadelis all have. Thank you all so much for the love, kindness, and support. And Larrue, thank you for letting me keep you hostage for another horrifically long episode. I'm so glad I didn't have a third. If we had a third on, this would have just we would still be going.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting better. We're getting better at not being that long, I guess.
Just remember, everybody, when you
What?
see a 3-hour episode from me, that's in the drought. These are 3-hour long newsless episodes.
But we can't have two experts in the same room and expect us to be silent for 3 hours, you know.
I know.
So
It's right. Yeah, it'll be like the easiest way to tell if an episode really shit the bed for me if it's like 30 minutes. You're like, ooh, that was a bad one.
you know,
All right, everybody. Well, thank you. We will see you out there on our upcoming Maple Story live streams. ASMR tags will be on. Don't forget to use channel membership on LaRue's channel for the feet emote. That's the only way to get the foot emotes. And we will see you maybe next week, but definitely before June. That's the SMTN tradition. What will come first, episode 400 or the next episode of Fort revival trailer? Only
hey.
only you know.